smart. Some people call it prepping. I call it smart. You never know what's going to happen in this world. Go to mypatriotsupply.com. You'll find out a lot of good reasons to have that food and some great prices. mypatriotsupply.com.
Ladies, some of you sickos willingly accept that with the big doe eyes that you don't even need from a Snapchat filter and just look up at R. Kelly and say, give me your best.
The Rants of Izzo. Tonight at 7. MoJo 50.
Hey guys, Matt Locke, the Conservative Cartel. I'd like to take a minute and tell you about a new weight loss product that's instantly becoming part of the MoJo 50 family. It was launched by a Dallas area company who had taken the good stuff in olive oil and created a patented product that helps people control their appetite and lose weight. It's also a big help to keep the weight off. A 6-year study of former contestants from The Biggest Loser showed that when you lose weight, your body actually thinks something bad has happened, and it fights back by slowing your metabolism and boosting your appetite. One Ridgezone client, Sarah, recently lost over 100 pounds. While she looks amazing, she has been struggling every day with cravings. Now that she's taking Ridgezone, she says it's so much easier to control her appetite and she's not thinking about food all day. Ridgezone contains a patented ingredient that has been shown to boost metabolism and reduce appetite while helping you burn fat. For a short time, we have a 30% off deal for our show. Just go to ridgezone.com, RIDUZONE.com, and enter the code MATT, M-A-T-T. That's Ridgezone, RIDUZONE.com.
MoJo 50. The question isn't who's going to let us. The question is who's going to stop us. Adjust your mojo now. Thank you. The mothership has landed. Doc Thompson. Brad Staggs. The mighty MoJo 50.
Oh, there were so many ways to go when I got up this morning. And then something fell directly into my lap. So I thought I'd share that with you here in just a second. First, breaking news from the Twitterverse. President Trump has already been in Vietnam longer than Senator Richard Blumenthal ever was. They're already awake. This is what fell into my lap this morning.
Within the broad framework that's presented. So it's like, you know, people that are like, oh, it's too big. It's supposed to be big. Because it should encompass everything from fixing the pipes in Flint to cleaning the water in West Virginia to developing battery storage technology to retrofitting buildings to be cleaner and to have solar panels on top.
Yeah.
That, of course, is Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
She turns me on. She turns me on.
You know, I used to think that, and then the more she speaks, the more it just, there's something, I don't know.
You have to take an adverse approach, and you have to look at her stupidity. You have to look at her horse teeth. You have to look at her Charles Manson eyes, and you have to sit there and say, I am just so overly attracted to her that she brings out the absolute best in me.
You know, there are some women who they look, I mean, smoking hot, right? I mean, you look at them, they're a 9, they're a 10, and then they open their mouth and all those points get sucked right out and they become like a 4. And then there are some that are, you look at them, maybe 4 or 5, and then they open their mouth and boo.
Throw it in her twice, you got an 8.
8, 9, 10. So to me, that's what she's turned into. I mean, when she dances and doesn't speak, smoking hot.
Yes.
When she speaks, all those points sucked right back out. She continues.
So you got to shut her up. And how do you shut?
That works too.
Seed cultivation. It
Seed?
should include all sorts of things.
So she's discussing the Green New Deal.
Oh, I thought you were talking about seed cultivation.
Yeah.
Okay, baby.
She has the entire gamut. She's going to save us all. It is so big. She's going to save us all.
Which is why it's large.
So she is cooking in her apartment.
Okay.
With her significant other, who apparently is in the witness protection program because he's silhouetted.
Yeah, you never seen him.
He's silhouetted against the light. You could not see him at all. Just this silhouette in the background. All right, more. So she's.
All right, y'all. We're coming. We're getting ready. We're doing this.
I guess they're cooking. They're cooking something.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's good.
So she starts getting all of the ingredients.
Bossy she is.
So she's off singing in the background.
That guy hates his life. He hates his life. I'm telling you right now.
If she continues talking all the way around him, yeah, I would think so. But
hates his life.
You come home and you have to go to grab your groceries on the way home and
wait, grab your groceries? Is that a euphemism?
sometimes you don't have your reusable bag with you, and then it's like so many plastic bags. Does this drive anyone else crazy?
Listen,
Okay, that's what drives me nuts is the fact that I agree with her.
The drivel, the absolute nonsense, the idiocy of this woman has to put you. How do I say this without sounding any more like in need of mental health treatment than I already do? I understand that a man's primary urge is to dominate things. That's what we do. We dominate things. And one of those things that we do to dominate is through the course of sexual forcing. Rape culture is domination, forced by will. That's why you have rape in prison, because these men absolutely dominate other men. Now, let me put a little bit of caveat on here, because we're not going down this deep dark path and I'm advocating rape. But
I'm hoping
saying
there's a point at the end of all this.
There is. I completely understand why because the MeWe chat room is blowing up that I need therapy. I find AOC attractive. My attraction is her is to, I have to shut her up, and there's only one conceivable way I know, and that's by being a man, and I have to take what I need from her.
See, I just took from that the fact that plastic bags drive me insane. I think I'm getting old. They do. The damn things multiply in the dark. But I digress.
It drives me crazy. I wish they didn't exist.
You know, they wouldn't have existed had it not been for everybody hating on paper bags.
Yes.
And then, of course, we had to come up with a plastic bag, which then they banned the paper bags, which were actually biodegradable. And then they went to these plastic bags, which just line up along fences when the wind blows them along. And then everybody gets pissed off about that. But you see, she wasn't alive then, so she doesn't know about those things. And
no, she's only 29.
She doesn't apparently do any research. So she continues on. Let's see.
I'm going to pour myself some wine.
You pour yourself some
She's going to
wine.
have some more. She and Elizabeth Warren, you know, they're hip.
She had a beer.
Hey everyone, how's it going?
Good.
All right. Special hello to my haters.
What? This is a because we established this before. This is a congresswoman who is at the upper echelon of not only our government but our hierarchy of life. And you want someone like this to be a little bit more responsible. When I ran for office, I watched my P's and Q's. I watched how I dressed. I watched how I spoke. No longer running for office. I don't give a rat's ass anymore.
Right.
This woman, she's not professional.
No, she doesn't appear to be. I have a sneaky feeling I know why she did this. This was on Instagram on it was a Sunday night, I think. But here she addresses some of the issues facing her.
It's so funny. Like today, there was this story that came out in the they're just. It gets so weird with all of this. I'm
going to ring the bell every time she says like.
You see
so
that she can't ad lib.
Two.
She can't go with the flow.
No.
That's what I'm telling you. She's got a script written for her.
Well, she must have it written down on the cabbage. She's in her kitchen here.
Media attention, because this is not a normal thing. It's really not normal. And what's really weird is that it just gets so it's so crazy. It's like people are literally, it feels to me.
It's almost like she's trying to form a complete sentence.
So I'm telling you, she's got script writers.
It's almost like she's trying to communicate. I can feel it. You can do it. You can do it. Let's do it. Come on.
Like a hysteria, but maybe that's just because all of this stuff is about me, so it feels very overwhelming.
She's not ready for this. She's not ready for this. Look, and when you do a live video to a group of followers that you have, like I have a pretty decent sized group of followers, and not everything is a hit. You have a lot of misses, but sometimes you try to put forced and contrived information out there because you need content. And this is what you get. This is what you get. You get somebody, you're not supposed to do this. And she doesn't understand it, but she has to thank Trump for this, because if it wasn't for Trump utilizing his social media, none of these asshats would be using this stuff.
You think he started it all?
Absolutely, I do. Absolutely. I think if he didn't start it, he perfected it. He changed the game.
But like today, there was this article that had come out, or yesterday, about how like does she live in the Bronx? Like, we asked people at her old apartment if they've seen her, and it's like, yeah, I live in the same neighborhood, but I had to move apartments because death threats / we needed 2 bedrooms.
Trouble in paradise? Are they sleeping in separate rooms?
I'm telling you, she is off script right now. What is she is trying to do? I'm surprised she got this video up. What she's trying to do
this is actually somebody ripped it. Somebody ripped it. It's on YouTube. So she did this on Instagram. So
so it's gone in 24 hours.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Let's see here.
But anyways, it's like we haven't seen her. Does she even live in the Bronx? Because they were like staking out my old apartment and couldn't find me. And it's like, it just feels like people feel much more entitled to like very private and personal information about.
You are in United States government. Yes, people are going to be looking at you. They're going to be analyzing you. You get the anal probe that everybody gets when they run for office.
Live your life in a fishbowl now.
If you didn't know that before getting into this, there's an issue.
About me that they don't ask for of other people. It's like, I'm sorry, I don't know if you all saw, but like a guy was just arrested last week with all of these, semi-automatic guns and literally trying.
Do you know any gun that isn't semi-automatic?
I was going to say there's some old West revolvers that are single action, but
in theory they would be semi-automatic because you keep pulling that trigger, keep cocking it back.
Yeah, to cock, but
still cock it back, pull the trigger, cock it back. It's repetitively firing rounds. It's semi-automatic.
Right. Yeah, she
muzzle shot loaders. What I think would be the only count to 10 if you reload. That's still semi-automatic. Right. She's just a moron.
Yeah, she should probably have done more research before she said all these things.
To kill me and other people. Like, literally arrested before trying to, like, murder me. Our planet is going to make disaster if we don't turn this ship around. And
she said ship. Mm-hmm. Ship.
So it's basically like there's scientific consensus that the lives of children are going to be very difficult. And it does lead, I think, young people to have a legitimate question.
Okay. There is scientific consensus that the lives of kids or the future lives of kids are going to be difficult.
No, you said it, though. You said it about 30 seconds ago. She should have done her research. And my point is she was feeling a little bit froggy. She decided it's a Sunday night. I got to put content up. This is called a word salad. She is putting no content out. She is doing nothing.
No. She's putting content out. This is beautiful content.
It is.
This is entertainment.
It is just a pile of crap.
And it's free. This is better than going to the movies. Mm-hmm. Because you don't have to pay. Well, you have to pay for your internet line, but other than that, she gives this for free. She should be charging for this. This is too good.
Is it okay to still have children?
Well, gosh, when was it a good time? I mean, if you have kids, let me just tell you, there's never a quote unquote good time to have kids.
No, there isn't. Pull out. Leprechaun on the MeWe chat room. Shut your face. I'm very aware I was a cop, and you're not worried about TRA guns pulling the ad. I am simply stressing a point that, in theory, anything is simple. Says, no, Izzo, that ain't right. You were a cop. Come on, TRA guns is going to pull their advertising for that bad information like that. I'm just saying, in theory, anything.
Well, technically, any gun you have to cock first is single action, so it's not semi-automatic. Semi-automatic, you pull the trigger and it cocks.
Right. I'm just saying.
I mean, not just financially, because people are graduating with $20,000, $30,000, $100,000 worth of student loan debt.
Well, whose fault would that be?
Go be a bartender.
No, that's hitting the bottom of the barrel when you're a bartender or a waitress, according to her.
I never went.
She continues.
And so they can't even afford to have kids in a house, but...
Let me just tell you, kids are expensive, period. It doesn't matter when you have them, they're expensive.
I never have them.
Also, just this basic moral question, like, what do we do?
Moral question? Should we have kids? No, she is not going this route. All right, lay it on us. Lay it on us.
Kids, there are still children here in the world, and we have a moral obligation to them to leave a better world for them. And
there are still children here in the world, and we have a moral obligation to them to leave a better world for them.
Do you understand
what does that have to do
why
with
I find
kids?
This woman sexually attractive? Because I could go to her and say, listen, I'm a part owner in the Cubs at Wrigley Field. I could tell her with any lie I want to. I invented the cure for cancer. I could tell, and I will get laid. Telling you.
She just the points are getting sucked out of her.
I don't know. I'm going the opposite direction. Her stupidity is really getting my engines revving.
This idea that if we just, I've been working on this for X amount of years, it's like not good enough. Like we need a universal sense of urgency, and people are trying to introduce watered down proposals that are frankly going to kill us.
Again, this is all word salad. She's saying nothing.
They're introducing proposals that are all going to kill us. I mean,
you've seen Billy Madison,
mm-hmm.
the speech debate where at the end of it, the professor's like, "I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul." That line that he said could absolutely apply to her speech right now. She's saying nothing of content. You're pissing people off.
A lack of urgency.
You're pissing people off on
good. If it pisses me off, they
Twitter,
can be pissed off too.
Twitter, they're begging you to stop on Twitter and in the MeWe chat room.
Good, then I shall continue.
It's going to kill us. It doesn't matter if you agree that climate change is an important issue. At this point, it doesn't matter. If you believe climate change is a problem, that's not even the issue.
What is the issue?
I don't know.
The issue is how urgently you feel we need to fix it. And if you do not have a sense of urgency to try to turn this around in 10 years, how is that different than a person who's just...
Somebody edited all of her videos together, so that's why it cuts off, and I think they had bad reception, too.
The way I feel about it is, first and foremost, we have to empower...
What is she chopping all this time?
I don't know. You can't see what she's chopping. Apparently, she's making chili. That's what she said initially.
The people of Venezuela.
Venezuela. You hear her? Venezuela.
So now she's concerned with the people of Venezuela. And this goes on and on.
Are you guys at war with Venezuela at all? Is Guatemala and Venezuela at war?
Isaac behind the glass.
I don't think we have any contact with Venezuela at all.
I'm just wondering because I don't know if I pay attention to America and that's it.
Well, no. See, she's in the United States government now, so she's got to pay attention to Venezuela.
Okay.
It is stunning that... and I'm telling you, I can't decide if Feinstein and Pelosi and that whole crowd is egging her on with this, or is shocked, dismayed, and hoping that she fades away.
I don't know why you're disagreeing with me with AOC when just a couple days ago you had commented on Nancy Pelosi that you'd
back in the day
you'd batter up
back
with her.
in the day.
Still, again, my argument with her is Audrey Hepburn back in the day, Breakfast at Tiffany's, or Audrey Hepburn in Always with Richard Dreyfuss. I would, because it's Audrey Hepburn.
I don't think I saw that one.
Oh my God, great movie, Steven Spielberg film.
Well, that was back again. That was back when they didn't start.
Me how I knew.
Is that where that song comes from?
My true love was true. Yep, absolutely.
Keep going. Keep going.
Sorry.
Don't leave us hanging like that. No, I haven't always. No.
Sounds like a great movie.
Sounds like a chick flick.
No, it was a great movie. Holly Hunter was in it. She's fantastic. Oh, she's gorgeous.
What? Ron, I think Ron was going to join you.
No, dude, I was going to join in on the
singing.
singing.
I thought.
We'll come back after break with that.
Sound like two cats fighting, but we get it done.
Man, I have a pain behind my right eye that is.
That didn't help at all.
No, it really didn't. It really didn't. It's wow. You know what would fix it right now? Some MoJo wild rice.
It's good stuff.
Lori and Jay, actually from Nostalgia, are going to be here in about a month. They're coming into the studio, and they, whenever they come into town, they whip up some of the great creations that you'll find at MoJoWildRice.com, and we eat like kings. I mean, that's some good eats right there. The still bragging on the waffle, the chicken waffle last week. Was that last week?
It was last Friday. Was Friday. Yeah.
And when you get it's the MoJo Wild Rice waffle mix that you can get the whole kind of a kit, and they have the different kinds of waffle mixes in there, and the
blue,
and the maple sugar
that Brad has with his coffee every morning.
This is so good. This isn't like regular processed sugar. No. This is like this is good for you. It's got to be chock full of vitamins.
Plastic.
It really
container.
is. And I don't know why they had the little side that sprinkles on, because I would just say, just slather it on. What am I hearing in the background? Is that them? Something I'm hearing. MoJoWildRice.com. If you would like to please support our sponsors, I'm telling you, it's some good eating. MoJoWildRice.com, or you can go to, you can try to spell out Nostalgia. I mean, if you really want to challenge yourself this morning, spell out Nostalgia and go there. But MoJo Wild Rice, it's so much easier. MoJoWildRice.com. So you say the Twitterverse is burning up over there? What are they saying?
It always is. They're all pissed off at you, number one, from that.
Good.
This is Brian Keith. Rancid Izzo. What? Oh, that's right. It's a remake. Thank you. Brian Keith says, Air Rancid Izzo, a guy named Joe with Spencer Tracy was better than always. And I always love Audrey Hepburn as well, too. So it was a remake. It's 100% correct. And I do like Spencer Tracy because he was with Katharine Hepburn. Oh, you sit in that chair over there, Brad, and I just love sitting and talking with you every day. Oh,
Lori Hepburn.
My Audrey Hepburn.
There's Belushi and then death. Stop singing now.
Yeah. Stinky says that she does I Am Groot for 15 minutes, that has no microscopic enunciation to Venezuela.
Did we count how many times she said like?
No, you kept going, and
the bell almost melted over here.
I was thinking about waffles.
Hassan, is it Hassan? I think it is. It's honestly like watching a news interview segment for student council president on a role in a TV VHS combo made by the AV class in 1989, starring recently elected 16-year-old student body president, student council that everybody calls Piranha Mouth secretly.
Piranha Mouth. We had this guy in the 90s, or 80s and 90s called Piranha Man, who was a backup for a radio guy up there. Oh, God, he was this little, this Indian guy. And he made no sense whatsoever. He'd come on the radio and...
Was his last name Ocasio-Cortez?
No, but he's looked like her. He's Piranha Man from Chicago. I love that guy.
She, believe it or not, she rambles on for another 10 minutes.
People are going to shoot us.
Just randomly. I'm just random. I have not listened to the whole... Just randomly. Let's just see what's...
He is a legit criminal. Pled guilty.
Who is a legit criminal?
What does that mean? What does that mean?
Let's see.
Guilty.
Who?
What does she say?
Crimes is the United States, is now the Trump-appointed United States envoy to Venezuela.
What is she saying?
So I think she was saying that the who's the ambassador to Venezuela?
I don't know. You know what? I'm typical middle American. I want to pay my taxes. I want to make money. I want to go to Whataburger now that I'm hanging out here in Texas. I want to stuff my face, watch bad TV, take a nap, and not care.
You know, I look over at the national debt clock, which continues to climb now.
God.
22 trillion, 37 billion, 28 million, 830, 40, 50, 60, $70,000. We're not interested in fixing that. No. We're interested in everything else, apparently. Maybe I've had too much coffee this morning.
Doesn't her boyfriend realize that he has an obligatory responsibility as a man to either to knock the phone over, turn it off, and look at her and go, "Shut up, woman."
If you don't think she wears the pants in that
yes,
family,
she does, and the dildo.
She wears a lot of stuff. He was standing there. I think he was off to the side, trembling in the corner.
Yes, facing her with his back, just like, I'm just ready. I'm ready. Would you please use some canola oil this time, please?
And tell me if I'm wrong. I'm going to shift gears here because
you're not wrong.
There was the story came out earlier or late last week. John Cornyn and Ted Cruz have proposed legislation now that will create the $1 coin to honor George H.W. and Barbara Bush.
Why? Who cares?
That's great Americans. Okay, yes, I will get and absolutely should be honored. However, again, I stare at the national debt and I start thinking, what in the hell what are our elected officials doing? Why are we spending time, money, and energy on a commemorative coin? A $1 commemorative coin. I don't care who it honors. Why are we spending our time and our resources on that when there are so many other problems to take care of, to fix? They have a list as long as your arm of things that are wrong.
Or something else. It is like the categories in the Oscars. They keep adding unnecessary things.
It's the magician. Look over here while I'm doing this down here. I don't understand it. The American Innovation $1 Coin Act, this was passed in January 2018. The bill requires the Treasury Secretary to mint $1 coins over a 14-year period beginning last month to recognize pioneering individuals or groups from all the states, D.C., and U.S. territories. That is the legislation being passed. Those are the things that apparently our elected officials in Washington think are important. They've produced in the recent years coins to honor of Native Americans and former presidents. Ronald Reagan was the last former president to have a coin minted in 2016. Well, thank goodness they're doing something to make life better here in the United States. I don't understand what these people think when they are doing these things. And again, I say 22 trillion, 37 million, 31 million, 930, 30, 40. We're about to see it turn over to 32 million and 32 million.
32, 33, whatever it takes.
When are they going to stop and actually pay attention to the things that need fixing?
It's not going to happen because they don't need to pay it back. Because it's all borrowed from the English back in 17, your sisters.
No wonder
whatever.
we kicked
Don't
their
care.
ass in the war.
We don't care. So we wouldn't have to pay this back.
Doc Thompson's Daily Mojo continues.
Happily promoting the 4 F's: freedom, faith, free markets, and fun. MoJo 5.
The media spotlight has been on Jussie Smollett lately, but for all the wrong reasons. His fantastical story of both an anti-black and anti-gay MAGA-inspired attack has begun to fall apart in an equally fantastical way. On that same night, a Jewish man just walking down the street in Brooklyn was attacked by 3 individuals. Nothing was stolen from him. It was straight up because he was Jewish. One is a real hate crime, the other a completely made-up story, and the latter's the one the media chose to cover wall-to-wall for the past 3 weeks. Since the media won't do its job, let me do it for you. Chicago isn't MAGA country in the least, and that should have been your first clue that this story stunk to high heaven, and you probably shouldn't have run with it so quickly. Also, the real story is the Jewish man that was attacked, and unlike Smollett, there's video evidence to prove it nonetheless. Oh, and there's another story attached to that attack as well, the growing and troubling trend of anti-Semitic attacks in NYC this year. According to local news reports, there are 42 hate crimes being investigated as of February 4th, compared to just 17 at the same point last year. The vast majority of those 42 investigations are for anti-Semitic attacks. The New York Times reported that there were 4 times as many attacks against Jews, 142, than against blacks as of October last year. Attacks against Jews have outnumbered attacks against transgender people by a factor of 20. To me, all of this proves we live in a 6-6 society today. The media and politicians are more into the oppression Olympics than actual truth of those who are being targeted. We should be calling out real hate crimes, yet when it happens to Jewish people, crickets from the media. That's equally as pathetic as their inability to see a fake story right in front of them from the get-go. This has been By the Numbers. I'm Andrew Coppins, and let's continue this talk over on Twitter at The Coppins Show.
Mike Opalka's 2-Minute Drill is powered by MoJoWildRice.com. Their wild rice is a superfood, gluten, sodium, fat, and cholesterol-free, yet high in fiber, protein, zinc, phosphorus, and trace minerals. But you're going to love it because it's delicious. MoJoWildRice.com. MoJoWildRice.com.
The Daily Mojo.
All right, get those communiques coming in via Twitter, via Facebook, via the MeWe chat room, if you can do it without 4-letter words.
Yeah.
What are people saying now?
Hashtag is going to be, of course, what I learned today. Don't forget to include that for you. But Robinson Crusoe is, stop. I can't take this broad. She sends absolutely nothing to my mind. And most of it, she is not hot. 5.5 with her mouth closed. I disagree.
See, if you go back and you look at the dancing video when she was, I guess, in college at Boston College, she learned how to dance. I'll give her that. She was hot, but then I guess she opens her mouth and all those points sucked right out.
Excuse
Not
me,
in a good way.
Jeff in exile on Twitter. A Mr. Mom reference. How old is this guy, dude? It's been nonstop, Mr. Mom reference. But I'm glad you caught that.
Which Mr. Mom reference?
The 220, 221, whatever it takes. No.
That's a classic.
You fed a
cannot go
baby
wrong.
chili? No.
Can't go wrong with the classics. Speaking of classics, back to I think 2003 or 2004, maybe a little earlier than that. Doc was at WTVN in Columbus, Ohio. Pay particular attention to what he says here in the first couple of seconds, and then he gets into some national politics for a couple of minutes. But it's fascinating when you hear who's coming up after him.
Day.
This is News Radio 610 WTVN. Hey there, it's Doc Thompson, Friday night, hanging with you for Sterling. 10 o'clock, Steve Boom Boom Cannon's going to be in here doing his thing. We're talking about third-party candidacy. Is voting for somebody that will not get elected a wasted vote? Or should you go ahead and vote for Democrat or Republican? Pick the best one, the one that is closest to what you believe, so you don't lose altogether by the other person getting elected. I say that's the wrong attitude, and I think that's part of the problem with America today. We've been talking a lot about third parties, and even if you already know you're going to vote for George W. Bush or John Kerry, if you enjoy politics, check out some of the third parties because it's really fun. Here's a website that has a lot of them listed, www.politics with an S and the number 1.com. Politics with an S, the number 1.com. If you are extreme to the right, even where religion is concerned, you may want to take a look at the American Party. Dianne Beale Templin of California would be your presidential nominee. Dianne Beale Templin of California. Her running mate, Al Moore of Virginia. Here's what the American Party believes. Members of the American Party believe that the original Constitution of the United States and the Bill of Rights were prepared and adopted by men acting under inspiration from Almighty God. That they are solemn compacts between the people of the United States, which all officers of government are under oath to obey, and that the eternal moral laws expressed therein must be adhered to, or individual liberties will perish. The purpose of the American Party is to field candidates who will restore the proper role of government as defined by the Constitution of the United States and interpreted in the traditions of our founding fathers with a strong moral and biblical base. That is extreme to the right. They believe in less government. They are very strong when it comes to religion. And if you think this is a party you may want to back, the American Party, you'll be casting your vote for Dianne Beale Templin of California.
MoJo 5.
Good night, Steve Cannon, wherever you are. Steve Boom Boom Cannon coming up after Doc Thompson there at WTVN from the way, way, way back machine.
Why was he called Boom Boom?
I don't know. No idea.
Steve Boom Boom Cannon.
Never met the guy.
Interesting.
Do you know who else was Boom Boom? Come on.
Boom Boom, come up to my room.
No. Arthur Boom Boom Washington.
Who's
and
that?
that is...
What?
Who is
Who's
that?
that?
Welcome back, Cotter?
Really?
The
I know
black guy.
Horseshack, but I don't remember Boom Boom.
Yeah. Mr. Cotter.
I remember
Arthur
him.
Boom Boom Washington was the black guy.
And Vinny Barbarino.
Danny Barbarino.
But Boom Boom.
Yeah,
I
Arthur
don't-
Boom Boom
I
Washington.
remember who you're talking about now, but I don't remember him ever saying he
Ooh,
didn't.
Mr. Cotter.
He needed a good catchphrase.
I don't.
He didn't have a
remember that
catchphrase.
No, but
He didn't.
Horseshack or Juan Epstein, the Spanish Jew.
That's right.
I might have to go back and watch that.
That was back when television was good.
Oh, yeah.
Damn it, now you got a bunch of trash on television. So in Texas, which is supposed to be...
Greatest state in the world.
They're trying to introduce hands-free legislation for your cell phone in your car. So it's Judith Zeffrini. I think she's out of Austin.
It's already hands-free in school zones.
Yeah, which...
Yeah.
But with this legislation that they want to pass, this is you can only touch your phone to turn it on and turn it off.
We have that in Illinois, though. So
It all has to be hands-free. Now, texting is illegal here in the state.
Now, can you not text if your phone is integrated into your car? I mean, I assume you can.
If you use it hands-free. But this would Senate Bill 43 would let Texas drivers only use their hands to turn on or off their phones. No more typing addresses, choosing songs, dialing phone numbers, holding the phone even to talk if you're behind the wheel.
Yeah, I always wondered how you pull somebody over and they have the phone in their hands. I saw you were texting while you're driving. How do you know? How do you know?
As a cop, how would you?
I mean, don't know.
What would your experience would tell you? How would you figure that out?
didn't.
Just have probable cause to pull you over and waste your time.
That's it. So I would say, hey, listen, you got your phone in your hands. Just do me a favor, put the phone down.
Our buddy Russ said Steve Boom Boom Cannon was named Boom Boom Because of his last name.
That's so obvious. That's stupidly obvious. With his hands-free cell phone law, they say that it's going to save lives. They point to legislation outlawing texting while you're driving that was introduced, I think, last year, and they said that the deaths in cars from 2016 to 2017 went down. It was 3,794 in 2016 and 3,720 in 2017.
Raise the damn age for a driver's license. What's it? Texas is 16?
Yeah.
So it's Illinois too. It should be 18 or 21.
You know, Texas has a law for against texting and driving now.
Yeah.
What's that? Because I don't want these irresponsible kids behind the wheel of a car.
I've seen some irresponsible adults.
I get it, but you're taking more of those kids off the road.
But you know, the law allows for you to come to a stop at a stoplight, pick up your phone, text, or change the GPS address
as long as the vehicle's not moving
before your wheels turn. Yeah.
Well, I went back to the years to find out, if this may have even been remotely true. If you go all the way back to,
you went the way back machine.
I went way back machine. In 2012, there were only 3,417 deaths.
Okay.
So I'm not sure how the texting ban. There was no texting ban then, and there were fewer deaths then.
That was from kids riding in the back window of a car without a seatbelt.
Oh, we could ride in the back. We had a 53.
Dude, I rode in the back
Air.
window of a car till I was 10. I mean, I loved it.
Another piece of the puzzle falls in line.
There it is.
With the guy behind the glass. Isaac, as a youth of this generation, can you imagine riding in the back window of a car?
I rode the bed of a truck when I was little.
Can you do that in Texas still?
You have to be, your butt has to be on the bottom.
And you have to have your back against the cab, right?
Yeah, I don't know about that. I just know you have to be sitting down on the bottom.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes some sense. Don't sit on the wheel well or on the edge, but having your back against the cab, I've heard that before. Like, that's going to make a big difference.
That would make sense, though. Yeah.
What? If you're in the bed of a truck, it doesn't matter if you're sitting with your back up against the cab or
There's
the
still
side.
no seatbelt.
Why would you want to sit on the wheel well? You hit a bump.
Yeah.
Out
Actually, we used to do that. Go four-wheeling. Sit up on we'd sit on the tailgate of the truck. It was exciting. But with all these flaws, they're trying to enact legislation based on faulty information. And it's just another way, again, that they are spending the money, spending their time with things that aren't necessarily going to fix anything. If you're going to ban the use of cell phones in cars, where are we with banning eating in your car?
Putting on makeup. Have you seen those women putting on makeup in the morning? It is insane.
Or other pieces of clothing. Mm-hmm. Or eating or drinking hot coffee or something cold. You ever spilled hot coffee in your lap?
No. That I have not done.
That will make you.
I have ashed. I've lost ashes of my cigar right in my lap.
Or smoking in your vehicle. I mean, tell me that's not going to be a bigger distraction if you ash in your lap.
It is. It is.
So this is insanity. It's the pathway to hell is paved with good intentions. Should you be, when you're in a car, should you be paying attention to drive? Of course.
Oh, thank you on MeWe chat room. It's Freddie Boom Boom Washington. I thought it was Arthur Boom Boom Washington.
Freddie, Arthur,
right?
You know, same thing. What's amongst friends? There is a guy up in where did this happen? Maplewood, Minnesota.
Okay.
Northwoods of Minnesota. A free citizen.
Sure.
Who claimed not to recognize laws, allegedly threatened to kill a police officer with a peak-shaped explosive device, emblazoned with the words "F the police."
Oh.
Dennis Van. He was
Take us to
arrested.
dinner first.
So he's zipping along the roads. 4-hour standoff in his camper shell in Maplewood, Minnesota. Cops pulled him over to remove the vehicle. I guess they were called to remove his vehicle from the supermarket parking lot on Friday. The officers looked up the registration, found out his license had been revoked, and there was a warrant for his arrest over unpaid child support. They knocked on the vehicle's door. No answer. A few minutes later, the guy drives off. Takes off. He's pursued by the police for 2 miles, stops at a shopping center. He was told he was being stopped because his license was revoked and he had a taillight out. He said he didn't need a driver's license. It's not required to follow the traffic laws as he is a free citizen.
Oh, he's a sovereign citizen?
He's a sovereign. Yeah.
I thank God I never dealt with one of those idiots.
He believes he's exempt from legal constraints.
I'm not a driver. I'm a traveler. I'm a traveler. Do you know the law of 1802 and blah, blah? Shut up.
Did you say you never had to deal with the sovereign citizen
never.
thing? I watched some of those videos on YouTube, and
Aren't they
those
great?
crack me up.
The even the ones that are just the
like a huge waste of time.
The DUI or the traffic stop refusal to roll down your window. No, I don't choose not to.
Don't get out. And on the sovereign citizens, the one that kills me are the big mouth females in the passenger side seat. And while their man is getting arrested, they're like, "No, you can't do this because we're incorporated." And then you hear, as she's being tased. That kills me.
She's being tased.
Yes. The female passengers are the worst. Female passengers are the worst, and there's nothing worse than having them the look of apology and borderline fear in the eye of the male drivers. Can't tell you how many times I would pull over. I'd pull over a couple.
The dude looks at you and he goes, "Oh God, please just arrest me."
And she doesn't.
Son of a bitch.
Pull
Just
over this
arrest
guy.
me. Can I sit in your car for a while, please?
Not wearing a seatbelt, and the big mouth pig next to him leans over. "You're just pulling him over because he's black." I'm like, "No, miss, actually, he's wearing a seatbelt." And the guy's looking at me going, "I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Please
I'm
put
sorry."
the cuffs on me. Just take me back to the car for a little while."
I would have been doing him a favor.
Yes, the police chief, Scott Nadeau, told the paper there that Mr. Van said a couple of cops are going to die, made multiple references to having an IED. They surrounded it. They found a pig-shaped device that just had F the police written on it. It said the pig held an energetic powder and appeared to be an explosive device. So he was arrested.
IED, not an IUD, right?
Correct, yes.
Yeah.
Apparently the pig couldn't get pregnant either. Making threats of violence. Thank you. It's been here all week. Reckless disregard for risk and fleeing police. What's the weirdest thing that ever happened to you when you pulled somebody over?
I had a mini domestic, and father son.
That means there were midgets fighting.
Yeah, pretty much. Father son. They were kind of fighting this and that stuff. And I don't mean to be insensitive, but it was funny for the story. So dad was yelling at the kid, but the problem is that dad was deaf.
Right.
So the kid, who's probably 15 years old, we pulled him over. I don't remember what to pull him over, but he's yelling. He's yelling at him like he's Marley Matlin. It's like Marley Matlin screaming at a car. So already I'm trying not to laugh. And I look at the kid, and I look past the dad over into the passenger side seat with his 15-year-old, who's just completely disinterested, unfazed, and he's like, "Oh God," rolling his eyes. And I'm like, what is your dad mad at you for? What? I don't understand. And dad can read lips. Dad goes, "I'm mad at him for this," and he pulls out this gay porno magazine. And there I am. "I found it in his room," and I'm going, "Oh God, I don't need to be here right now." And I felt so
Isn't
bad
the weather
for the kid.
nice today?
Yeah, I felt so bad for the kid. I'm like, you get to get yelled at like your dad has got a mouthful of cotton balls and he can't hear his own. Carry on, guys. Carry on.
Have a nice day.
I think I left something in my car. I'll be right back.
Yep.
And then you just get in and leave.
Just left. Just left. Yeah, that was one of my favorite moments.
I got pulled over in Nashville. I'd been at a radio remote downtown, was driving away and got, 4 or 5 miles down the road, and blue lights behind me, pulled over into the parking lot of the Tennessean newspaper, as a matter of fact. And I think I'd had a beer. Yeah, I'd had a beer, so I wasn't...
Never admit to having any.
Well, at that time, I was a youngster, not knowing any better. And the guy, the cop pulls up behind me. It's probably 9 o'clock. It's probably later than that, but maybe 10, 11. Pulls up behind me, gets out of the car, walks up to my window. I've already got the light on, hands on the little sill.
Mm-hmm.
I look out, and the guy looks like Al Roker.
Oh, okay.
First. And then starts to talk to me, and he stutters.
You couldn't help yourself, could you? You said, what did you say? What did you say?
Well, first I was he starts stuttering. First thing you want to do, and what you never do, is complete their sentence. It's like, let them finish talking. So he's trying to get the words out, and I'm sitting there, and I'm thinking, I just got pulled over by the stuttering Al Roker. And I pulled you over because you had tail light out. Can you get out of the vehicle? And yeah. And he says, have anything to drink? I think I said I had a beer. Sets me in front of the truck, and all right, walk a straight line right here. Do the whole nose on the finger thing. So I started to try to walk the straight line, and all that's going through my mind is I just got pulled over by stuttering Al Roker. And so I couldn't do it. And I looked at the guy after about 3 steps. I said, "Sir, you've just got me all flustered." And I said, has anybody ever told you look like Al Roker?
Like I hear it.
That's
every
wrong. That's wrong.
I didn't know what else to do because I thought, okay, he's going to take me to jail. And he looked at me and he just had that look on his face. And I thought, oh, crap, I'm going to jail. He said, all right, get back in the truck.
Head back to your neck of the woods.
Get back to your neck of the woods. Hands me my license, says, be safe. Talk about dodging a bullet. That was the strangest night. Ron, you ever been pulled over?
Only once.
Weirdly?
No.
Only once?
Only once.
In your entire life?
Yeah.
And?
I was speeding. Got a warning.
Did you have a carry permit at that time?
I did not.
I think that gets you out of more tickets. If you have a concealed carry permit, and I don't know why, but you were telling me the other day you thought it was because of a respect thing, Izzo?
Well, a surefire way in my town to get a warning was to get pulled over by me because I just didn't write tickets. It took too long. Yeah, but yeah, no, I like the people. I live in a very liberal state, and I appreciated people who got their conceal and carry. So to me, it showed a very, very responsible human being. Plus, their demeanor is always different. You pull over some idiot who's I don't know, doing X, Y, and Z as a kid. They got the whole leaning back in the chair, the old sucking the teeth crap.
They got the attitude you pulled them over.
But you can't write them for that, and I respect it. You want to be an ass, be an ass. It's on you. But the conceal and carry people, officer, how are you, this and that stuff. And in Illinois, I have to ask for you to tell me. You don't have to offer that information. I don't know how it is here, but in Illinois, you don't have to offer the information. Illinois, I have to ask you, do you have a firearm on you? Do you have a concealed carry card?
They usually, every time I've ever been pulled over, they ask.
When people did it, I was like, oh, you do? Oh, my gosh.
It would make sense that it'd be SOP just in the state of Texas, let's say, because it's carry and open carry. The first question is, do you have any weapons on you?
And then why don't you? That would be the second question.
Why don't
you?
They did that in Tennessee. I had an old, like an 89 red pickup truck that didn't have the shoulder harness. It broken. So I just had the lap belt
70s, 60s?
It was it had broken. So I think it was in the late 80s.
Okay.
I was driving along, got pulled over, and the cop walks up and pulled you over because you're not wearing your seatbelt.
Yeah.
I said, well, I am. It's just the shoulder harness is broken. You got your weapon, blah, blah, blah. And he says, all right, be safe.
Yeah.
So he didn't even give me a ticket for not having the seatbelt on.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. I would imagine that. Wouldn't that be a fix-it at least?
A what?
A fix-it ticket.
No. Oh, God, no. What's the point?
Money?
What's the yeah, but you're going to get tossed out once you do it. It's stupid. That's all citations are. When you look at it, and I said this before, a traffic citation by itself, if I pull you over and you're the only car on the road and you're the only car speeding and I stop you, your vehicle code is to prevent accidents. Speeding can cause an accident. Not using your turning signal. Anything that's a moving violation, in theory, can cause an accident.
Right.
So if I pull you over, hey, you're speeding, you're doing 15 over, and I stop you, and I go, hey, do me a favor, just slow down. I did my job. That's it. But for me to send you to court with a ticket, well, now if you're going to go to court, you got to take the day off work.
Well, and especially if they contest it.
Sure.
Don't you have to take time to go up there?
So you're taking time off work.
Yeah.
That you're going to lose money. If you're in court or whatever, you got to pay court fines. You lost it. You got to pay for the ticket. You lost the ticket. You got to pay fines. That's a definition of excessive fines. It could cost you, in theory, $300, $400, $500. That is what's it? Is it 14th Amendment? 8th Amendment. Excessive fines. And that, in my opinion, that meets the definition. So that's why I didn't write citations. I thought it was a little crap.
I'm not sure that I can't decide if you were a good cop or a bad cop.
I know. In the beginning, I was a scumbag. I raped my own mother. Are you kidding me? I raped my own mother. Oh, geez. My last
Trying to prove
DUI.
a point?
Yeah,
Or
my last DUI. I had a very holier than thou attitude. My last DUI I ever wrote was a cop. No professional courtesy. You're drinking and driving. Nope, you're going to jail. I don't care.
Well, at least you're even-handed.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a plus.
Yeah.
Obesity. Let's talk about obesity, type 2 diabetes.
You want to look at me and say that, then, don't you?
I just, for some reason, when I looked at you, I thought, obesity, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, written all over you. Gut bacteria. They affect your body's metabolism. The more I do research on gut bacteria, the more I find out it can cause everything. If you have an overabundance of the bad bacteria in your gut, depression, like I said, type 2 diabetes, Crohn's disease, ulcerative colitis, which does not sound pleasant. I mean, sounds downright nasty.
I was in a band called ulcerative colitis.
Uh-huh.
Tribute to Johnny Mathis. We only had 2 shows.
I got a funny story about him. I'll tell you later. So, look, if you're dealing with any of this, if you're just concerned about better health, better gut health, if you know anything about this, you know that it's the gut bacteria that are in you are like, I mean, there's a gazillion of them. There's like more gut bacteria in you than there are people on the planet. I mean, these little bastards, if they decide to take over the world, you're in trouble. Go to lovemytummy.com. That's where you'll find information about Atrantil. They target the bad bacteria. And it's amazing. Again, if you have an overabundance of the bad stuff in you, depression, unexplained weight loss, weight gain, mood swings, the whole 9 yards. It might not just be the fact that you're married that you're having mood swings. It could be bad gut bacteria. It's worth a shot, isn't it? LoveMyTummy.com is where you'll find Atrantil. It was developed by a gastroenterologist. It's not a probiotic. It's clinically proven, and it targets problem bacteria.
You gave it to me a week ago. I'm going to tell you flat out, a little bit of a shameless plug. So I actually eat a lot. I eat a lot.
Wouldn't have guessed that.
And I'm in the bathroom quite a bit. After a week, I am far more regular, and it is efficient. Let me put it that way.
And there you have it. Straight from Izzo's mouth.
Right to his ass.
Mm-hmm. LoveMyTummy.com. It is LoveMyTummy.com, which I think it is only appropriate to tell you the story of the extreme cleaning company over across the pond that released a picture gallery of its dirty jobs. One of those which was a house filled with 400 bags of human excrement and more than 250 bottles of urine. Husband and wife. Did you hear I said excrement and urine?
I did, and it's just a daily occurrence for me, so it doesn't faze me.
400 bags. Husband and wife, Leanne and Kenny Elliott, they clean up stomach-churning messes on a daily basis, they said. The pictures, wow. In addition to the dumped bodily fluids that took 5 hours to clean up, the couple, they've tackled rooms with every available inch covered in filth, dealt with one tiny flat that generated 4 tons of garbage. 4 tons of garbage. Other pictures, and we'll tweet it. This is absolutely... They found one house where there were more than 30,000 used needles. They had to empty a one apartment of, they said, trash and bodily fluids. I
got to bring in pictures from the album. I have. We had a hoarder who passed away.
Oh,
to his house. Yeah, we had to cut. The fire department had to cut a hole in his bedroom wall to get him out of the house.
Isn't that is one of the strangest afflictions?
Oddly enough, no smell whatsoever.
How's that possible?
Don't know. Did have a guy who passed away in his basement once, about 280, 300 pounds, big guy. And he had those milk gallons surrounding his bed, all full of urine. That smell.
Well, I can understand that. I mean, you just don't want to get out of bed. If you weigh a little, you just roll over and right there because you don't want to pee in the mattress.
Nope.
That just soaks it up. Although if you think about it, that's a good containment system. It's just when you go to lift the mattress and it's so heavy.
Oh yeah, he was lifted off the mattress. I almost gagged, passed out. It was horrible.
So that is what I would classify as a shitty job.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying. Speaking of jobs, there is if you are looking for one right now, you can get paid $15 an hour to roll joints in England's first cannabis cafe. Apparently, though, these are not dispensaries that dispense actual real pot. This is like the CBD version, CBD flowers. You do not get the high from this stuff.
What's the point? I mean, I don't smoke it, so I don't understand. But remember, I told you I'm a trans drug addict. But
it controls pain. For
so
a
it's
lot
like
of people,
drinking beer, non-alcoholic beer, right?
No, not really. But with the CBD, it's a great pain medication. And it's non-narcotic, and it does not have the psychotropic effects. But if you're looking for a job, they're looking for spleef rollers in England. Or you go to, I think they actually do the same thing out in Colorado at their dispensaries. Imagine that. I get paid.
No, it's like going to it's like getting teased at a strip club and never being able to, enjoy the purposeful effect of it. It's like, what's the point? I understand. It's like, oh, my back feels better. Oh, look, titties. My back feels better. It's like, what? Don't you want to get high? Don't you want to enjoy things? I mean, come on.
No, if you're not in pain, that's almost as good as being high.
I don't know. I mean, I got whatever. I don't know. I can't see the point.
So did you hear the kids that visited Dianne Feinstein's office?
I saw and I turned it off because, once again, I want to remain as ignorant as possible in American politics.
We're going to go in and share this letter, and we're going to do it all together. Yeah. Share it in front of Feinstein. We're asking...
These kids are like 11 years old, and they got this giant letter that they've written to her, to Senator Feinstein, and it's interesting.
Her to vote yes on the Green New Deal.
We are trying to ask you to vote yes on the Green New Deal.
Please.
Okay, I'll tell you what. We have our own Green New Deal.
Some scientists have said that we have
Wow.
12 years to turn this around.
Well, it's not going to get turned around in 10 years.
And again, I find myself siding with Feinstein in this case. It's not going to get turned around in 10 years.
I respect her for the fact that she's parents. If you got kids in the car, turn this off for a second. I'll give you 2 seconds. I respect the fact that what she's talking about is the equivalent of saying, listen, honey, there is no Santa Claus. It's your parents. I absolutely respect her for what she's doing on that. She's not placating these kids.
She lets it have him. She gives it to him straight.
What we can do,
Senator, if this doesn't get turned around in 10 years, you're looking at the faces of the people who are going to be living with these consequences.
The government is supposed to...
And that's the voice of the teacher.
Cares.
This
So
teacher,
what?
talk about the agenda-driven teacher in California. This is stunning. The Democrats are actually starting to turn on each other.
Mm-hmm.
And are they all ganging up on AOC is the question. Are they all ganging up on her? Hold on. There it is. Nah, not so much anymore. Not when she opens her mouth.
Just thank me for wanting to take one for the team.
This is amazing to watch. It seems like the implosion of the Democrat Party.
Mm-hmm.
But we've seen that look like it started to happen before, and
Hitler
it did
Youth.
not.
Hitler Youth. That's where it happened before. Little blonde-haired, blue-eyed Nazi boys and girls walking around, pointing, going, "Die, Jew, die." That's where this is before, and it's going to happen again.
And Green New Deal, same time. Coming up next, we'll have your headlines and get into more of the issues of the day in a way that the only way we can. Yeah. This is Doc Thompson's Daily Mojo.
A mojo for every state. MoJo 50. This is the seditious, rabble-rousing, liberty-loving, home of fun, entertaining, and compelling talk. MoJo 50.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Expected to arrive in Vietnam in less than 2 hours, President Trump. He's on his way to meet with North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un.
I think we can have a very good summit.
The ultimate goal, according to the president, denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula. Former CIA Korea Station Chief Bruce Klingner says there's no sign that North Korea is living up to the last summit's pledge, getting rid of its nukes.
There has been no denuclearization whatsoever. North Korea continues to nuclearize. North Korea is continuing to expand and refine its production facilities for fissile material, reentry vehicles, missile launchers, as well as missiles.
Of this summit, Klingner says stakes are very high, but the expectations are very low. Senate Democrats blocking a bill would have provided new legal rights to babies that survive abortions.
Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer says the Born Alive Abortion Survivors Protection Act was really an attack on women's reproductive choices.
Because it would impose requirements on what type of care doctors must provide in certain circumstances.
Senator Ben Sasse says the bill would have required better treatment than Virginia Democrat Governor Ralph Northam recently suggested for babies who survive abortions in his state.
He said you should make the baby comfortable, and then there could be a discussion about whether or not you throw that little baby into the trash can.
Sasse says the bill was not an assault on abortion since it pertained only to babies who are alive and already born. Bob Agnew reporting.
A bill blocking President Trump's emergency declaration for the southern border expected to clear the House later today. But while House Democrats should have no trouble passing the resolution, chances in the Republican-led Senate far less certain. Rescue crews working to reach almost 200 people trapped on a snowbound Amtrak train in Oregon. They've been stuck there since Sunday. On Wall Street this morning, Dow futures down 87 points. S&P futures off 5 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Never Forgotten Apparel is more than just a premium women's and men's clothing line. It's a movement to remind us to wear American-made and serve those who serve us. Our heroes. Never Forgotten Apparel gives 20% of their total sales to nonprofits that support homeless veterans and off-duty firefighters, and 50% to individual veterans and firefighters in need nationwide. Check out neverforgottenapparel.com. Use promo code MATT, M-A-T-T, and get 15% off your purchase.
You get great service and you do some good in the world with Patriot Mobile. Sign up for a Patriot Mobile account today. Start saving money, get great coverage, and do a little bit of good because they support companies, organizations, and candidates that you like. It's patriotmobile.com/doc. patriotmobile.com/doc.
So let's talk about the Golden Globes. Christian Bale said Satan inspired him playing Dick Cheney. Did Satan also inspire him to assault his wife, his sister, and his mother? Did Satan also inspire that? Just asking.
Brandon Morse, today at 1. MoJo 50.
Hey, are you tired of the bar scene? Tired of trying to meet people that maybe you just don't know? I'll tell you what, I'm a classic example of online dating. I met my beautiful wife online on a dating platform, and you can too. Check out wethepeople.dating. There's a better way for all of you single guys and you ladies out there. You know what? Life, liberty, and the pursuit of a partner ought to be your #1 goal, just like the Constitution. They make it easy to find a liberty-minded match, and it takes less than a minute to create a free account and begin browsing through over 11 million monthly subscribers. Look, if you're looking for someone, you don't have any time, you've got a computer, you've got an internet, you can start browsing wethepeople.dating. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of a partner shouldn't be a mantra, it should be a goal. For the love of people and people of love. Listen to Matt Locke. Check out wethepeople.dating.
If we weren't so bad.
To puppy rape.
I like to cuss.
Do I want to keep my penis?
Cat wants some black titty.
We wouldn't be so good. MoJo 50.
The mothership has landed.
I think congratulations are in order. Andrea Yearwood and Terry Miller. Congratulations to both of them of Bloomfield High in New Haven, Connecticut. Big round of applause for them. They finished first and second, respectively, in the 55-meter dash at the State Open Indoor Track Championships. This is the women's indoor track championship. The 55-meter dash was won by Terry Miller, who's a transgender female. Came in first.
He's a man. He's a boy. He's a male.
No, he's a woman. He's transgender. What's wrong with you?
He's a male.
He's a transgender female.
Did he have to wear a cup for the event?
Does not say.
Okay. Does it look like it in the photos?
Andrea looks maybe endowed. Andrea Yearwood, who came in second. A 17-year-old who is also a transgender, transitioning to female.
So it's a man?
So 2 dudes. Won the
One
women's
cup. 2 dudes, 1 cup.
Which, by the way, don't ever Google that either.
That's fantastic.
Yes. Wow.
Segue.
Isaac knows.
Segue. Here's the deal.
Mm-hmm.
I've got times in my life where life is very difficult to handle. You have work stresses. You have relationship stress. You have personal stress. I'm sure every single person on the planet can relate to that. When you Google and happen to watch a video like 2 girls in 1 cup, which I don't suggest anyone does.
No, do not.
You automatically, in my opinion, are put in a place of immediate zen, knowing that no matter how bad your life is right now, you are not willingly sharing a cup of feces with another human being.
Well, there's that. So these 2 girls, are they girls?
They're men.
They're dudes.
They're men.
They're You know what? Let's from the representative of the youths of America, Isaac across the glass, growing up in this time period in the history of the world. I would imagine, since you don't know differently because you weren't alive back when it was kind of weird for a dude to be a chick and a chick to be a dude. Is it strange for these 2 dudes to have won the female indoor track championship, the 55-yard dash, 55-meter dash? Do you find that odd, or do you just accept that as part of life today?
For a fact, I know that a lot of people are gonna give me hate for this, but like, I don't know. Some things are just
come on, it's only us listening. There's nobody else. Just us.
Just us and like another 300 people.
Yeah.
there's just some things that are just designed for some type of people, and I don't know. I guess if they want to bend the rules now, I just don't care anymore.
Where did you grow up at? And did you, because you have teeny bit of an accent?
I grew up in Guatemala.
Okay, so your culture wise, is this like, hey mom, I want to pick being a girl today or a boy today? Is that as accepted in your culture versus your?
From our ethics, it was not. It was considered like, I guess because of religion, it was considered like a bad thing.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
So it's a bad thing for you think for these transgendered individuals to be competing in
I don't know.
the opposite sport.
For me, I don't really care for. They can do whatever they want. Yeah.
Now, what if you were one of the girls on the team who was or competing there who lost out to the dudes? Would you?
I mean, I wouldn't know how to respond to that.
If you think about it, they have to be on a hormone therapy?
It's
right?
hard to deal with. When I was in high school, we had two females who started to bridge their way. This is in the late 80s, early 90s, who started to bridge their way into boys wrestling. And I'll never forget it. At one tournament, this guy got pinned by a girl. Didn't lose by points, got pinned by a girl. He ran screaming off that mat. Because how do you process that? You're screwed. Here's your three choices when you compete against a female. It's you compete and you beat her, and you look like you're a big bad guy. You beat a girl. You compete and you lose against her. Oh, you pussy! What are you doing? Or it's I refuse to compete, and you look like a chauvinist.
Well, that's different. If a female is competing as a female, if it's a biological female wants to compete in boys wrestling, that's a different story than saying that you've transitioned into a female from a dude.
I can't get behind any of it. Separate the hell out of it.
Here's what a Sunday op-ed said. To put the argument at its most basic, a man can decide to be a female, take hormones if required by whatever sporting organization is concerned, win everything in sight, and perhaps earn a small fortune, and then reverse his decision and go back to making babies.
You're not a female. You're a bitch.
If he so desires. It's insane and it's cheating. I'm happy to address a transgender woman in whatever form she prefers, but I would not be happy to compete against her. It would not be fair. That written by Martina Navratilova.
Oh, and then she got a bunch of hate for the LGBTQ community.
Yes, saying that that her words were actually used in I think it was Montana. They were used by people to say that transgender folk don't deserve equal rights.
This is why I don't understand why the T is in that, why the trans is in that. So you got lesbian, gay, queer, right? Lesbian, gay, queer. All of those.
Bisexual, transsexual.
Okay, so lesbian, bisexual.
You're forgetting
gay,
gay.
And queer,
and queer
are all sexual preferences for what you engage in sexual activity based on your attraction, right? So gays are attracted to gay men, lesbians to women, bis either way, and then queer, I'm assuming it's the same thing anyways. It's all your sexual attraction and preference. The trans is what you identify as. Why are they included?
Is that rhetorical?
Yeah, I'd love an answer.
Because I don't have the answer. Because it's another protected class.
So give them their own class. So here you are. You got Martina Navratilova who's saying that she's got a valid point. It's not like hey, I'm attracted to women. It's hey, you're genderly built differently, biologically differently. Testosterone. I don't care if you take estrogen. You are still massively different than I am and composed differently than I am. Hell, the length of their arms are different. Men and females have a different length of their whatever the bone is. It's your radius, and you're all now. This is your
it's connected to the collarbone.
Right, the hip bone connected to the collarbone. I know that our hips are different. So your structure's different. You can't change that. You're a man.
Now they
act like one.
They say, contrary to her opinion, there are no known cases of a transgender woman beginning a medical transition, competing and winning an athletic contest, collecting prize money, and then detransitioning. Yeah. However, the number of cases of detransitioning are going up.
On the rise.
If such a person were to exist, they said, since she detransitioned without having gender-confirming surgery after at least 1 year on hormone replacement therapy to reduce her testosterone levels and increase her estrogen levels. So many words. Some sports require 2 years. So now they're, I guess, actually instituting rules for the transgender athletes. Remember when life was simple and it was boys' track is over here and girls' track is over here?
Shirts and
if you're a
skins,
boy,
and you
yes.
put on bikinis and trunk. I don't know. I don't understand this, and this is actually opening the door for a lot of crap. It's modern day Sodom and Gomorrah.
Well, with that, why don't we just get into headlines, shall we?
We've scoured news platforms and agencies around the globe for today's most profound news headlines. Presenting them now, here's Brad Staggs.
Nope.
No, I'm sorry.
There,
it is. For the next few minutes, though, I will be your Brad Staggs. These are your MoJo 5-0 headlines for this Tuesday, February 26th, in the year of our Lord, 2019. All right, here we go, jackholes. For those of you who are new and don't understand this, I'm going to read you a bunch of headlines. You guys are going to play along at home, and you're going to guess which one is the fake headline. Are you guys ready? You ready behind the glass?
Ready.
All right.
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. I'm going to lay it on you. Florida man clings to the hood of a speeding car. After a video of a man seen grasping a hood speeding down a speeding car down I-95 in Miami went viral, the daredevil himself started speaking out to the news outlets about why. The daring and crazy feat happened on Sunday evening. WFOR reported Junior Francis told Miami's ABC affiliate that the whole thing wasn't a silly stunt. Instead, it started as a fight with his ex-girlfriend.
See, that makes it legit right there.
There you go.
A woman.
Francis said that his ex-girlfriend, Patrice Isidore, needed a car to pick up their 5-year-old from a family member. Francis said he needed the car too. When she got in the car in the driver's seat first, he said he decided to jump at the top of the hood to keep her from leaving, but she left anyway.
Ever done that?
No.
Never wanted to stop a woman from leaving so badly you jumped on the hood of a car?
Nope. I waved goodbye and held on to my money.
She must be hot.
There you go. And crazy. Moments later, the car was on the highway. I'm on Interstate 95. This is it. She's in the express lane. This is it, Francis said as he remembers thinking. Video shows Francis wearing only a tank top and shorts as he held onto the hood of the Mercedes. The video also showed Francis on his phone 911 the whole time as the car reached speeds of 70 miles an hour.
Would you say he was wearing a wife beater?
Yep.
Nice. Nice touch. Nice touch.
All right, we're moving on. Florida woman named Crystal Methvin arrested for possession of, wait for it, crystal meth.
No.
Yeah, St. Augustine, Florida. Florida police arrested a woman named Crystal Methvin for possession of crystal meth Saturday morning. They said that Methvin, 40, and her boyfriend, Douglas Nickerson, Douglas Nickerson, 41, after getting an anonymous tip about a complaint of an unlicensed driver. How is that? I don't get that one. An unlicensed driver. Oh, somebody's driving without a license? You snitch.
How'd they know?
That's why some of that stuff is just kind of kooky.
Yeah.
Officers responded to the parking lot of a one-story office complex at 69 Dixie Highway and found Methvin, Nickerson, and an unidentified third person in a vehicle. Police said the three consented to a search, and officers arrested Methvin and Nickerson after finding crystal meth and drug paraphernalia.
Sounds like a party.
Yeah, both were taken to jail where their bond was posted at about $5,000 each.
All
right, moving right along there, kiddos. Cookie Monster's caught smuggling drugs. Cookie Monster wasn't about all cookies at all. Key West man was arrested Wednesday morning in a Marathon gas station for allegedly transporting 314 grams of cocaine inside a Cookie Monster doll. Monroe County Sheriff's deputies say that Ori Swiley, was parked near mile marker 47 around midnight. That alone's going to get you stopped. When he saw a black Dodge headed north with a license plate obscured, the sheriff's spokeswoman said that the tint on the windows of the car also triggered that the deputy could not see what was going on inside the parked car, so he stopped him. Behind the wheel was Camus McNair and Heron. Swilly could smell marijuana. A search of the vehicle. Yeah.
It's the pot.
Guys, leave it at home.
Mm-hmm.
The search of the vehicle turned up a backpack inside of which was a blue Cookie Monster doll that Swilly had bought and was heavier than typical stuffed animals. According to the Heron, after finding a slit cut in the doll, he found 2 packages containing 314 grams of cocaine. He was taken to Marathon jail where he was held on $7,000 bond.
Where else are you going to hide your cocaine aside from inside Cookie Monster?
You got an ass, don't you?
Uh-huh.
All right.
You know what to do with it.
All right. Our nation is still outraged from 1933's Best Picture went to Cavalcade instead of Lady for a Day. Washington. This is out of Washington. As I clear my throat, Doc Thompson style. Still seething with an anger nearly 90 years after the announcement, the U.S. populace revealed Monday that they were still outraged that the 1933's Best Picture film, the Oscar Best Picture film, went to a historic epic Cavalcade rather than the pre-coded comedy Lady for a Day. Look, Cavalcade was a fine popcorn flick, but better than Capra's Lady for a Day? Really? I'm sorry, but I'll never forgive the Academy for that horse crap decision, said New York resident Elliot Spencer, who echoed that a near unanimous sentiment of the 323 million Americans today, still noting that not a day has gone by since the 1933 awards got it wrong, and he doesn't find himself shaking with rage at the insult of depriving Frank Capra of the industry's top honor. Oh, I'm sorry, I got to finish this up. At the time, press at the time, this is during off the cuff of the nation reeling over that they didn't think that Green Book probably deserved to win this year.
Well, a lot of people are pissed about Green Book winning.
That's what I'm saying, and it's triggering 1933 sentiments. All right, police search for shirtless crapper man who defecated behind a jewelry store. Police in Florida received a very strange call Tuesday morning after a jewelry store owner said that a man was caught in their surveillance camera defecating in their parking lot. In the video, a shirtless man is seen walking between two cars behind Joey the Jewelry, pulling his pants down and pooping on the ground.
I didn't want to do it in his pants.
The guy pulls up his pants and casually walks away. This is just nasty, the store's owner, Forrest Tinkerpaw, wrote on Facebook. People have no respect for those anymore. Tinkerpaw's followers.
There's no respect when they're crapping in our alley behind our store. It's just, the world's gone to shit. It's just gone to shit.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, thank you.
Tinkerpaw's followers fittingly named the guy Crapper Man. Authorities said that they find that an employee at the jewelry store noticed a dump pile because he almost stepped in between going to his car. In an update, the authorities said the Crapper Man has been identified and a warrant is being sought for his arrest.
So this guy does it. He's like a serial dumper?
I don't know. Incidents like these have a negative effect on the quality of life in our community. Police Chief Tony Taylor says it's just downright shameful when people don't give a crap about their town. It really stinks.
Wow. Okay.
All right. Car thief suspected. Car theft. Car theft suspect pulled over to watch total eclipse gets arrested, deputies say. A man suspected of stealing a car was arrested Monday after he pulled over to view the solar eclipse, investigators said. Orange County deputy sheriffs from an auto theft unit were following Shokan Feliciano Rosado, 22 years old.
Loved his songs from the 1970s.
To all the girls I've loved before.
Oh, that was Julio Iglesias.
Okay, sorry.
I'm thinking of Jose Feliciano.
Yeah,
That's totally
I remember that one.
Completely different, yeah.
Rosado, 22, and he parked the car at Harbor Freight Tools on Osalata Parkway near Kissimmee, they said. After buying a welder's mask to view the eclipse, Rosado walked back to the car.
Wouldn't that work?
Put on the mask. You steal a car, and you're going to go, hey, wait a minute. I'm going to stop and watch this eclipse first. Rosado walked back to the car, put the mask on, started looking up. And
well, you don't want to miss it.
Nope.
It's a once-in-a-lifetime event.
Yep. Sheriffs moved in and arrested him. The welder's masks are not approved eclipse viewing devices.
By whom? Who is the solar eclipse approval panel?
Guru, solar eclipse guru.
Okay, I would think so. I mean, you're when you're welding the flame that comes out, the spark, isn't that as bright as the sun? Oh, what do I know?
All right, moving right along here, kids. Tennis match gets interrupted by sounds of loud sex. Love is all around, literally. During a tennis match between Francis Tiafoe and Mitchell Kruger at the Sarasota, Florida Open in Florida, on Tuesday night, the sounds of two people having a fantastic night were loud and clear. So loud, in fact, that even a player commented on it. In the video clip of the game above, you can see the player starting to make facial expressions of surprise and encompassing the noise around 10 seconds, where one of the players says, well, that's it. This is the most bizarre situation, the announcer says. He goes on to speculate that the moaning they're hearing is somebody's phone going off in the stands. The excited screams start up again around the 150 mark, leaving the announcer to say, I still hear it. It's still going on. What is going on?
This?
TFO mid-game shouts out, at least somebody's having a good night during the midst of the orgasmic commotion. As a fellow player tweeted at TFO after the game asking if the sounds are real, he assured him, I've never heard something more real, despite the announcer indicating that those were only intercourse, despite the announcer indicating that only those intercoursers were having a good night. TFO had a good night, and he won too, considering the fact he won the match overall. Here's hoping that his next match won't have so much of a soundtrack.
Okay.
All right, and then finishing up, iguanas are falling out of the trees in Florida. They're freezing to death. Thursday morning, columnist from Palm Beach Post woke up to 40-degree weather and was greeted by frozen iguanas falling out of the sky. He responded back as many people would have. He shared a photo on social media. He then pondered what to do. He told the New York Times, one of the strongest winter storms on the East Coast of modern history has plummeted cities with snow and sleet, forcing schools to close and businesses to close, while grounding thousands of flights. This is how you Southerners deal with like a quarter of an inch of snow?
Oh, yeah.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah, that and you have to go to Kroger and buy every gallon of milk and every loaf of bread on the
Oh,
shelf.
we're going to run out of the milk and bread.
First things to go.
Yeah. And in South Florida, it's raining iguanas. Green iguanas, like most reptiles, are cold-blooded animals, so they become immobile when the temperatures start to fall to a certain level. Kristen Summers of the Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission says, under 50 degrees Fahrenheit, they become sluggish. Under 40 degrees, their blood stops moving, and it is become so cold they begin to fall out of trees. This is not a new phenomenon. There were typical reports or similar reports in 2008 and 2010. The reality is South Florida doesn't get that cold very often and long enough. Now, she also goes on to say that you do not take these things and pull them off to the side and put them in the sun. All of a sudden, these things are coming to life, crawling back on their own. They will warm up over themselves. Neighbors resounded with the thud of iguanas dropping from trees onto the pools and desks. And many pythons were also reported dead, floating in evergreens, and the Fish and Wildlife Concern just says leave them on their own.
That would be if you're stoned and watching that happen, that's got to be a complete buzzkill or send you over the edge, one of the two.
Whatever.
All right.
All right, recap. You guys got iguanas falling from the skies. You got tennis match interrupted by some bumping uglies. You got a car thief who was was kidnapped for staring at the sun. You got a pooping dude, a crapper man behind a jewelry store. You got the nation is still outraged over 1933's best pitcher. You got Cookie Monster caught with drugs up his butt. You have a Florida woman named Crystal Methvin arrested for crystal meth. And you have a Florida man clings to the hood of a speeding car.
All right, one of those is
Place
fake.
your answers. One of those is fake.
I think I have an idea, and Isaac, you think you have an idea, but
Yeah,
first,
I
all
got
right.
it.
First, I have a question. A civet. You guys know what a civet is?
No.
It's a cat-like creature that.
Is
It actually eats coffee beans and then poops them out. And once it's done that, you can actually buy a cup of the coffee made from said digested coffee beans, and it sells for as much as $80 in the United States.
Capybara or something?
That's actually true. The one place you will not find civet coffee that costs $80 a cup is at American Pride Roasters.
In my mouth.
No. You will find the coffee flavors that are much more appetizing, like Doc Thompson's Uranus Hertz. You'll find P. Hat Matt's Peppermint Mocha. See, I think that he may have been inspired by the civet coffee.
Sure.
Just saying. If you go to AmericanPrideRoasters.com, that is where you will find the finest coffee in the entire universe. It's the official coffee here of MoJo 50 Radio. And this morning, is this still the MoJo blend?
Yeah, we got the MoJo blend today.
It's very good, especially when flavored and sweetened with Nostalgia maple sugar. Just saying. Go to AmericanPrideRoasters.com. That is where you will find the coffees that we drink here, and you should be drinking as well. That's APR coffee. AmericanPrideRoasters.com. Okay. Time to guess which one was the fake story, Isaac.
I'm going to go with the pooper man behind the jewelry store.
See, I was leaning that way too.
Because I believe every Florida story, like everything weird, comes out of Florida.
Yeah, it really does. There's something. It's the sun. Florida and especially Key West. There's something about whatever the sun does to people's brains in Key West. So, all right, we both say it's the poop and jewelry behind the jewelry store guy.
You're both wrong. It's the 1933's Oscar Award.
And remind me of that one again.
They're outraged over Frank Capra losing his award to a different pitcher. It's 1933. They were talkies back then.
Wow.
Yeah.
So this was
1933. I'm your host, Brad Staggs. You'll be joining me on the Daily Mojo, and I'll be having a little bit of nicotine and a hit from my Lucky Strike. What do you call that today, Brad?
This here?
That's a little. Is it a vapor?
Be your vape.
This is 1933. We don't have vapors yet.
Well, there you go.
We have flappers. Mm-hmm. You know what we don't have in the studio because it's 1933 and we're all racist? We don't have any colored people or Negroes. This is 1933. We're all racists.
In 1933, that's absolutely true. And not a lot of fat people in 1933 either.
No, we don't.
I don't think they needed Riduzone in 1933 because people, for whatever reason, I mean, there were a few fatties running around.
We put a pound of butter on all our food.
But for the most part, now the beautiful thing about today is if you are a fatty and you want to not be a fatty anymore, if you go to riduzone.com, that is where you will find what could be your secret weapon in the battle against the bulge. Riduzone contains a molecule known as OEA, which is Olestra alginate.
I was in that band. That's very ironic.
Riduzone.com. If you are trying to lose weight, if your head is in the right place, and you are ready to lose said poundage, Riduzone.com. Riduzone, or as Matlock says, Riduzone. Riduzone.com. All right. So that's it. No birthdays today?
No, everyone died today. Everyone died today. I had some fun facts, but they were not as fun as I wanted to.
This actually is the anniversary. It was 2012. Trayvon Martin was shot and killed on this day. So there's one anniversary for you.
There we go, right here. I'm representing Trayvon Martin right now.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Your Daily Mojo continues in just a second.
Happily promoting the 4 F's: freedom, faith, free markets, and fun. MoJo 50.
Democrats in Congress are working diligently to eradicate poverty in the United States. It would be great if it were true. Let me explain. 5 members of the Congressional Black Caucus apparently needed to leave the United States in order to do their jobs for Americans. For their efforts, they received an all-expense-paid vacation, business trip, to fly to South Africa to hear Beyonce and Jay-Z in concert. The $60,000 trip was for the purpose of attending the, quote, Global Citizen Mandela 100 in celebration of the late Nelson Mandela's 100th birthday. The trip, paid for by Global Citizen, a nonprofit that lobbies for anti-poverty programs around the world, was also for raising awareness of global poverty, because goodness knows, when you want to bring attention to poverty, well, you just eat cake, celebrate lavishly, and dance the night away in a foreign country. When asked how the trip was related to his job in Congress as a senior member of the Foreign Affairs Committee, U.S. Representative Gregory Meeks of New York said, quote, in the spirit of Nelson Mandela, we pledge to keep working with our colleagues in Congress across the country and across the aisle to make sure that every child in Africa and at home has the opportunity to thrive and grow in a safe and prosperous world. The irony of the costly trip didn't go unnoticed by the president of the watchdog group, the National Legal and Policy Center, who called the trip a mockery. Quote, these members of Congress that were given an all-expense-paid vacation to party with Oprah, Jay-Z, and Beyonce in South Africa are claiming with a straight face this was needed to help poor children around the world live better lives. Should we expect an ethics violations investigation? Don't hold your breath. And that's today's Reality Check with Susan Knowles.
Never Forgotten Apparel is more than just a premium women's and men's clothing line. It's a movement to remind us to wear American-made and serve those who serve us, our heroes. Never Forgotten Apparel gives 20% of their nonprofits that support homeless veterans and off-duty firefighters, and 50% to individual veterans and firefighters in need nationwide. Check out neverforgottenapparel.com, use promo code DOC, and get 15% off your purchase. That's Never Forgotten.
The Daily Mojo.
All right, as always, get those comments into Facebook and MeWe and Twitter. Use the hashtag What I Learned Today, and we will continue on with our close-ish, the modified close-ish of the Doc Thompson's Daily Mojo. In the meantime, however, you have some
I don't understand what this means. In. Bob from Playboy tweets that listening to the podcast from yesterday, hashtag What I Learned Today, Izzo does a good impersonation of Angry Doc. I don't understand that, but okay.
Oh, Angry Doc. When you got Angry Doc, he would over the top. Okay. See, I never really, very few things get me all that pissed off.
Yeah, you are very mellow. You are very
well.
mellow.
It just takes, quite frankly, it takes a lot of effort to get me up out of the chair. And Doc would often stand up and lean over the desk, and I just, I'm at that
No.
age where it's like,
Yeah, you got the. I don't.
yeah.
Okay.
It's more fun to watch you get angry. It's more fun to watch Doc get angry. So I let you guys take the rants to the edge.
Continuing, APR coffee. Our coffee is 100% certified 100% poop free.
See, that's a plus. Now, most coffee companies wouldn't be smart enough to put that in their branding, but the guys at APR are. DM is a smart man.
Artificially awake, hashtag what I learned today. Today's headlines could be renamed Reasons to Stay Away from Florida.
Right. It is the sun. We have friends that live in Key West, and there have been occasions in the past where said friends have done truly bizarre things and said truly bizarre things that make no sense whatsoever. Having known them for several years, I'll leave their names out of it, but apparently the sun gets in there, infects the thinking brain cells and fries them, because there's something about Florida that just does that to people.
Fantasia, Jack Hole, Queen of the North. That's right. Listen to this. Izzo is right. Question is, when isn't he? Which is never. One, and this was back when I made the LGBTQ statement. One is sex preference. The other is biological preference. They should be separated.
Well, are you guys trying to make sense out of the illogic or the crazy?
I don't know. I think it's all just stupid.
Speaking of crazy, I think we all remember just a short time ago when our favorite government representative.
Come on, I'm sorry.
He just got distracted by something on the television.
Granny panties that absorb water. You got this woman who looks like she's 50. She's decently attractive, but you're going to go on there talking about how she leaks during the day? I don't need to see that.
Some of us
continue.
Some of us leak during the day.
ADD. I'm sorry.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez earlier in the program said something.
So it's basically like there's scientific consensus that the lives of children are going to be very difficult. And it does lead, I think, young people to have a legitimate question. Is it okay to still have children? And I mean, not just financially, because people are graduating with $20,000, $30,000, $100,000 worth of student loan debt, and so they can't even afford to have kids in a house, but also just this basic moral question, like, what do we do? And even if you don't have kids, there are still children here in the world, and we have a moral obligation to them to leave a better world for them. And this idea that if we just, I've been working on this for X amount of years, it's like not good enough. Like, we need a universal sense of urgency, and people are trying to introduce watered down proposals that are frankly going to kill us. A lack of urgency is going to kill us. It doesn't matter if you agree that climate change is an important issue. At this point, it doesn't matter. If you believe climate change is a problem, that's not even the issue.
She says that there's now a scientific consensus that global warming, that climate change has been caused by man.
She proved that we don't need to have kids either, so I'm okay with that.
Evidence for man-made global warming hits gold standard. This, according to scientists yesterday in Oslo. Evidence for the aforementioned global warming reaching the gold standard. Scientists said yesterday, humanity cannot afford to ignore such clear signals. The U.S.-led team wrote in the journal Nature Climate Change of satellite measurements of rising temperatures over the past 40 years.
Okay, what are the temperatures rising to? Are they just a few degrees up?
It's even a percentage of a degree. Okay. And again, you take 40 years in a timeline of a planet that is millions of years old.
Yeah.
And they don't have those. I mean, they've got records going back, 200 years maybe?
Yeah.
They said confidence that human activities were raising the heat at the Earth's surface has reached a 5 sigma level, statistical gauge, meaning that there's only a 1 in a million chance that the signal would appear if there was no warning.
How many humans did we have 200 years ago?
How many humans?
Yeah. You think we've had
7?
Okay, so let's just say maybe we've had like 5 billion people 200 years ago, and maybe we're at 6 or 7 billion people right now on the planet.
Something like that? Yeah, I think 7.
So what if we're all 98.6 degrees, and some of us from time to time have fevers that put us like 103 degrees? Maybe we're just the cause of global warming because our increased body temperature is increasing the Earth.
So you're agreeing with the scientists? That
No,
it's
I'm
man-made.
saying it doesn't friggin' matter. Get over it.
Such a gold standard was applied in 2012 to confirm the discovery of the Higgs boson subatomic particle, a basic building block of the universe. Benjamin Santer, the lead author of Monday's study at the Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory in California, said he hoped the findings would win over skeptics and spur action. The narrative out there is that scientists don't know the cause of climate change is wrong. We do, he said. Mainstream scientists say the burning of fossil fuels is causing more floods, more droughts, more heat waves, and rising sea levels.
Okay.
Again, let's, I don't know, for the sake of argument, say that is. We could change everything. We could make all the cars disappear tomorrow in this country, and if we don't do something about China and India, well, we should do something about our own home before we start worrying about.
No, we'd be that much. You get rid of your guns, get rid of your transportation, get rid of everything. You make yourself that much easier of a country to invade. You know what? Oh, man, she's so stupid.
Now, these are scientists now. Monday's
she's
findings
agreeing.
by researchers in the United States, Canada, and Scotland said evidence for global warming reached the 5 sigma level by 2005 in 2 of the 3 sets of satellite data widely used by researchers. You may see a certain fingerprint that indicates human influence, but that the actual intensity influence is minor.
This is great. Stinking Duck, this is brilliant. Stinking Duck on Twitter says, ask these people what the ideal temperature is on Earth and when we had it and how long ago we lost it.
Well, then
where should we be?
Where
should we be?
Then ask Stinky Duck, of course, about the cavity underneath Antarctica.
Did you see the article I tagged you in?
2/3 the size of Manhattan.
There are underground rivers and rainforests and baby dinosaurs and little and baby Jesus is there waiting for all of us.
And gold and a lot of chocolate.
Yes.
NASA found a 1,000-foot tall cavity that's 2/3 the size of Manhattan under the Thwaites Glacier. Is that how you say it?
No, that's
Thwaites?
just my ex laying on her back, leg spread.
Cavity is thought to have held 14 billion tons of ice that melted over the last 3 years. The glacier is responsible for 4% of annual global sea level rise. If the entire glacier were to melt, they say it would raise sea levels by 2 feet. The unexpected gap below the ice signals that we know less about melting glaciers than we thought, that scientists are likely underestimating the speed of ice loss. Or could be overestimating. Either way, because they just admitted we know less about melting glaciers than we thought.
Could you imagine a job where your profession and the paycheck you got was you assuming?
Guessing? You mean like weathermen?
Constant guessing.
You mean like the 10-day forecast at the Weather Channel?
Absolutely. You got paid to just blow shit out of your backside and sound like you knew what you're talking about.
I had a friend who was a weatherman in Vegas. And talk about the same thing day after day. Hot and sunny, except when it rained. And if he wasn't at the station when it started raining, they called him in and put him on like the overpass. And he did a live shot. It's raining here on the Strip in Las Vegas. That's a great job to have.
The best.
The cavity, they say, is 984 feet tall and 2/3 the size of Manhattan. It's the Antarctica is ringed by a skirt of ice sheets and floating ice shelves that provide a buffer between the ocean and the landlocked ice on the continent. These floating sheets, they say, are acting like a dam, and if they, of course, melt, that the rest of the ice will slide into the ocean and raise the sea levels.
No, they already said that won't happen. They talked about the displacement ice and the I'm going to paraphrase the heck out of it because once again, this was a YouTube wormhole. I'm watching at 3 o'clock in the morning. So you get a glass, and you put ice in it, and the ice melts. The volume of your glass stays the same.
Absolutely.
So it's a bunch of crap.
Well, what they're saying is the ice that's on land, if the ice in the sea melts, that the ice on land will.
No, they're talking about the fact that the minute, based on the surface area of the ice and the surface area of the ocean, and all that, it would make no difference.
Well, insurers are now worried about a financial crisis that may come from climate risks. This in the past couple of days. They're worried that rising temperatures will lead to a slump in property values that could spark broader financial turmoil. Those were the conclusions of a group run out of the University of Cambridge, including some of the world's biggest insurers. In a report published Friday, ClimateWise said that an increasing catastrophe linked to climate change could triple losses on property investments over the next 30 years.
But that's insurance. That's modern day mafia. It's insurance. They base everything off of fear of something that could happen that never does.
And taxes. This all boils down to money. And the carbon tax and your carbon footprint and how they want you to be carbon neutral. And if you're not carbon neutral, you end up owing money. They follow the money trail.
You know what, government, just to let you know, I drilled the baffles out of the exhaust on my bike.
Sounds better, doesn't it?
Deal with. Sounds better, and I'm blowing more crap back in the air. Suck it.
How do you feel about the government?
I love my country. I hate my government.
So if you're concerned about global warming, I guess that goes back to all of the cow farts, too, in the Green New Deal. We have to stop eating meat because of the cow farts.
Oh, no, it's delicious.
We have to retrofit all of the buildings in this country.
No, you forgot the word completely. We have to we got to tear them down, rebuild them.
How does that even happen? How do you retrofit every building in the country?
Did you ever see the movie The Money Pit?
Oh, yeah.
Think about that. The shell of the house is up.
Yeah.
2 weeks. 2 weeks. And the holes in the home and everything. That's what she's going to have to do.
So you would have to have if you wanted to get this in 10 years, you would have to have, well, you would create a lot of jobs because you'd have construction crews working around the clock.
No, it wouldn't, because these millennials all want to go after jobs in IT, medical profession. You have no people. And Mike Rowe talks about it all the time. The people in the trades. How many people that do what you do are at an age as young as him? Isaac behind the glass there.
Isaac, again, as a representative of the youths of America, how many of your friends know how to build, or do you know how to use tools, table saws?
Yeah, I used tools before. I kind of built like my own shed one time.
Did you really?
Yeah, my old house.
Good for you.
Yeah.
And you have all your fingers?
Surprisingly, yes.
You got a half a finger more than Matt Locke does, so that's good. You're doing well. So you can use do you use a table saw?
Yeah. I use the saw.
Circular saw?
Actually, I use just the seesaw.
A seesaw?
Yeah. I had nothing electric.
Oh, just
I
a
use
hand
everything.
saw.
Yeah, the hand saw.
That'll build your muscles too. Good for you. I don't even
Isaac's
like
Love
those.
Shack.
No kidding. Well, that's just so. Do a lot of your friends, a lot of people that you know, that can they do that too, or are you like an anomaly?
Yeah, actually, I know a couple people, and I guess because they're older than me, they grew up they had to learn how to use this type of tools.
Because they're older than you? Oh, because they come from a different time.
Yeah, they come from a different time.
Well, see, that's the problem. Again, these are the things when AOC says things like we're going to have to rebuild.
I love her.
Or retrofit every building. There need to be some people to do it. And yet she talks about everybody going to college and having college debt. Well, college is not going to teach you how to build things. College is not for everybody. Trade schools exist.
Me was not.
I never went to. I went to college for a semester.
I dropped out after 2 months.
And I thought, damn, this is a lot of work. I mean, I tried to take accounting. Boy, that was a disaster. So if we could get more kids, like you said with Mike Rowe, if we get more of the youths to get into trade schools to learn how to work with their hands.
He made a great point, too, when you think about it. He goes, the doctors and lawyers today are the ones who are charging like $300 an hour. Because when those jobs start going away because no one's doing it, your plumber, your electrician is going to be charging you $300 an hour.
They really need to bring shop class into like high school. You remember shop class?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Did they have it when you were in high school?
Well, actually,
when did you
there was
graduate
like a building that like worked like in kind of like in construction stuff. They had to deal with cutting wood and stuff like that. And then I actually wanted to get into that, but I took auto tech instead.
They still have auto shop?
Yeah, there's auto shops
In high school?
Yeah, I took
Wow.
it. Yeah, there was one over here in the Verbal Learning and Technology Center.
But is that high school or is that
It's I guess it's like a different type of program.
Yes, high school has electives, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think so.
I don't know.
God, it's been
I know.
decades. So I mean, so you decided to take auto tech.
I took the first class only.
So you didn't like it?
It's not that I didn't like it, but there was like these events, like these competitions, and I wanted to go to, but I had to pay a fee. I just didn't have the money for it.
Wait a minute, they charged you to competitions were like in the school, or it was like a community thing?
It was more of the community, I guess.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, that's good news. I mean, I'm pleased to hear that there are actually classes offered on auto technology. Although I would not try to fix my own car now. I mean, I'll change the air filter in it, but everything else, you can't even see the damned engine.
No, my
anymore.
old cars. I had Chevys with 350s. I got a Pontiac GTO now. It's like I could change the plugs, the wires, do headers, oil change, rebuild the carb, all that stuff. I couldn't touch my Acura. I'd be like, oh, I don't.
No, there's an engine somewhere underneath all those wires.
Sure.
But when she says, again, when AOC says things, like I was a waitress, I was hitting rock bottom. Who does she think is going to be doing the manual labor on all of these things? If she believes that being a waitress or being, I drop that more often. If she believes that being a waitress or being, I would assume by that statement,
table for Brad.
And it feels so good. That people who build things with their hands, I would assume that she thinks that's rock bottom too. If she thinks washing dishes and cleaning up things is
well,
rock
do you
bottom.
remember on The View? What was it? Ozzy Osbourne's daughter was like, "Well, if you don't allow people in here, who do you think are going to clean your toilets, Mr. Trump?" And everyone went, "Ooh," but that was an accurate statement.
Somebody's going to have to learn how to build stuff. Somebody's going to have to learn how to fix stuff. Because I'll tell you right now, when the apocalypse hits, whether it's the little green men from Mars attacking us or whether it's Yellowstone erupting, somebody is going to have to know how to hunt, how to skin a deer, how to fix stuff, how to fix structures, because things are going to break down real quickly. At some point, where something's going to happen. And even if it's not a worldwide or even a countrywide apocalypse, even if it's just a local disaster in your community.
Well, Bill Burr, stand-up comedian, he made a great statement. He was talking about getting a gun in one of his stand-up routines, and it was funny, but it's true. He goes, unless you know how to hunt, unless you know how to do all that stuff, basically all you're doing is accumulating stuff for the bigger, stronger other guy that's going to come in and take your stuff.
Yes, that's it. Which, by the way, the self-storage industry is still one of the fastest growing industries.
Is it really?
People have so much stuff, they can't keep it all at their house. They have to have a separate place to put the rest of their stuff.
Because we accumulate crap and we don't do anything with it.
Yeah. If you have a skill, and I'm not saying that skills like computer programming and video editing and IT skills, I'm not saying that those aren't worth anything. Those are. They're necessary. But there are not everybody can be a programmer. I couldn't be.
No.
No. God, that would drive me insane sitting there and typing in zeros and ones and equals and blah. See, like Ron over there, guy behind the glass, I think he's a programmer. I mean,
but he's also military, so he's the kind of guy, too, you want on your team that we're going to go and hunt and take from other people who are weaker.
Yeah, but I'm not sure he knows which end of the hammer to hold. He's just, he can shout. As a former drill sergeant, he can shout.
I'm sorry, Isaac, on Twitter, they're asking you, Larky and Farkin wants to know, ask Isaac if he's coming to MoJoCon in May. Hashtag what I learned today.
You going to be at MoJoCon?
I don't know. If you guys have me, I'll probably go.
Okay.
Yeah, you're going to be here around that long? Because they were asking about you yesterday online. They wanted to know if you were going to be sticking around, if they could like throw knives
I don't
at
know.
you.
Whatever you guys decide, it's up to you guys.
You have to put your Twitter out there too, because they're wondering.
Oh, I did.
Isaac?
Yeah.
Oh, you got us? Okay.
Yeah, it's Yo
soy Isa with a Z.
Oh.
With a Z.
IZA.
IZA.
Just one Z. So again, these jobs of the future, if they're going to be pushing free college for everybody, what they're doing is they're diametrically opposed. Their agenda is diametrically opposed to itself. They want everybody to go to college, free college for everybody. Oh, by the way, we have to rebuild the country. Who does she think is going to do that? Fortunately, I mean, there are people like Isaac who seem to know what they're doing, and he says he has 2 or 3 friends. So you guys are going to be really, really busy rebuilding every building in the country.
I don't think anybody understands when you level the playing field for socialism. These people who are in a lower position, middle America or whatnot, even the bottom rung of the middle class of Americans who are into this socialism dynamic think that you implement socialism, everybody's got everything. That means I'm going to get pulled up to the status of a $250,000 income earning a year, and no, you are going to be all bottomed out.
She is, this being AOC again, is in her offices in D.C. She's now going to make sure that the lowest level intern position makes at least $52,000 a year.
But here's the problem: when you start a base at lower level at $52,000 a year. That's the equivalent. Let's say that $15 an hour is the minimum wage,
which I think that's what it equates to. Is 50.
Right. So when I started, it was $325. All right. So it's $850 right now. So if you put everybody from $850 to $15 an hour, guess what? That $15 an hour is the new $850.
Yes. Yes, it is. And those are going to be the people who say it's not a living wage at that point. The highest paid staffers in her office, I think she said, are going to be, was it $80,000 a year? So you have the highest level, the people with the most experience, And geez, don't get me started on the fact that she came out and said, I'm paying a living wage in my office with somebody else's money. The highest level staffers, she said, are going to make $80,000 a year. She, of course, is going to make is making now $174,000 and change. So she's doing okay for herself with our money. But when you bring in the lowliest, and there's nothing wrong with an entry level position, and you start paying them $52,000 a year, there's no, I mean, what the incentive for the folks at the higher levels is gone. I mean, if you've capped the ceiling right there. Mm-hmm. But again, when you're dealing with other people's money and you're dealing with the government, apparently it doesn't matter to her.
Nope.
And
why would it matter? Wait, why would it matter? Could you imagine being 29 years old? 29.
To be 29
and you're in front of a video camera on the news every single day.
And thousands and millions
of people are endorsing you and loving you.
Yeah.
And you can go to Starbucks and walk out with your mocha shut your face dirty whore latte, and you got on your Prada bags and you're trendy, and oh my gosh, you're going to go on this talk show and that talk show, blah blah. She doesn't care. It is seriously nothing more than an addiction to power and fame. Doesn't get it. I can guarantee you. I'm going to say this right now. Whoever that guy is she's dealing with, she's dating at home.
Silhouetted figure.
He is not getting any ass at all. Not at all.
Don't think so?
Nope. I will tell you right now, she is stuck with him for appearances because they got together during this process or however long she's been. She's going to better deal him very soon. Very soon. And then when she's out of office, oh my God, she's going to be a game show host.
That's good.
We should see about getting her after a while so we can make fun of her. Co-host. Hey, you remember that time when you were relevant?
Well, people like her, because she's obviously a puppet, people like her will be in Washington for a long time because they put on the good face of the people pulling the strings. So she's going to be good entertainment for a long, long time to come. If you are sick of this sort of thing happening in Washington, if you ask, what can I do?
What can they do, Uncle Brad?
Well, they can go to patriotmobile.com/doc. It's a small thing you can do. It's like I say, it's the lazy man's way of making a difference, but that's okay. It's only lazy because you're busy working a 9 to 5. You're busy running your own business. You're busy doing all the things that normal people do to try to just keep both ends meeting. Go to patriotmobile.com/doc. The two most important questions of your cell phone, of course, are coverage and how much is it going to cost me. Can I hear somebody when I call somebody? Yes. Can I get this at a decent price? Yes. In a lot of cases, you could save money on the plan. If you go to patriotmobile.com/doc, you will find the different plans that are available. They will pay off your old plan, your old phone. There's I think $1,500 limit, something like that. But the best part is once you have that plan and you pay your cell phone bill every month, which we all do, a portion of that money goes to conservatarian causes, Faith and Freedom Coalition, FRC Action, Independent Women's Forum. See, they even give to women's causes.
Where's that breastfeeding with black titty?
Exactly. PragerU, Students for Life of America. Go to patriotmobile.com/doc and be a part of the solution, because if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem.
You know, even with their Patriot mobile phone or their existing one right now, they can always call in and join our conversations.
Yes. The phone number is there.
202-866-7466. It's 202-866-7466. You'll be live with Brad and me.
Now, and you can call if you have positive things to say. If you have questions or criticisms, concerns maybe about the program, the fastest way to get those to us is to write them on the back of a $100 bill and send them in here, and we will immediately open and respond to those questions. Just so you know, what else are they saying over there on the Twitter?
Oh my God, they're calling him already. So Jackie McJackal, what is Brown Panthers? Isaac. They're calling Isaac the Brown Panther. What is Isaac's Twitter handle? In America, I don't speak Mexican.
Yo soy Isa. IZA.
Somebody just call me watermelon chocolate.
Oh my God, that's fantastic. I love this audience. I love this audience so much. I wish I could take them home.
Bob Loblaw says, whatever AOC says.
Bob Loblaw.
Blah, blah, blah.
Love the Bob Loblaw.
Blah, blah, blah. Whatever AOC says, all I hear is the incoherent ramblings of Miss Teen South Carolina 2007. Hashtag what I learned today.
And again, it is.
She's hot, though, too.
Miss North Carolina. Was it South or North Carolina?
Does it matter?
Florida, yeah, it really
Does
doesn't.
it matter?
I believe that all U.S. Americans, wonder where she is today.
Don't care.
Probably running for office.
Should be at
somewhere.
home making a sandwich, wearing nothing but an apron and a pair of heels.
As long as he's making sandwiches, that's good.
Don't care.
Well, and quite frankly, we don't know that AOC yesterday wasn't making sandwiches.
She's so hot.
Until she opens her mouth. It's over in the MeWe chat room. Let's see. I never understood buying a sport. What the hell are they talking about in there?
I told you. Why do you bother?
Understood buying sports cars in states where you can't drive them 4 to 6 months every year. That's rough and ready, Jill Hole.
The MeWe chat room.
It's like they're in a different universe.
Yeah, so it's like, oh, you do me a favor and stay on top of the MeWe chat room. We got to look in there. And then the MeWe chat room people will be like, Izzo's not paying attention to the MeWe chat room. It's impossible. You guys are a group of psychos.
The Green New Deal is going to have us looking like the districts in the Hunger Games trilogy. No, I don't think it'll be quite that advanced, actually. The 4 in our house are learning a trade before they move out. Good.
Wow, that's good parenting.
Yeah, that is responsible parent. You know, there's the kind of responsible parent that actually makes their kids or steers. You can't make a kid do anything, but steers them in the direction of learning how to do something, a valuable skill. And then there are those households where they're more concerned about how they identify. And do they like the two transgender, the two girls who won in New Haven, right? The two dudes who won the girls' race in New Haven.
If I ever had children, and I want to announce this to my unborn children, should you ever be listening to the archives of this when I'm older and grayer,
How can you get grayer?
You were created solely to be slave labor. Accept it.
Isn't that the Matrix?
There will be in my house.
Oh, kids were, yeah. Well,
right.
Honestly, that's the way it used to be. If you had a farm, you had bazillion kids, so you had kids to work the farm.
I don't care if it's a 2-bedroom apartment; it's gonna be slave labor.
Let's see. I'm talking boarding school deans paddle. Oh, they're talking about spanking over in the MeWe chat room now. Why didn't that surprise me?
Go figure.
That's
right, Robert Phillips. Izzo is talking S about the MeWe this morning. You guys are psychos. Oh, here you go. Can't read your name, sir. Fantasia Jackhole. Some of us are crazy and hot, like at Doc Thompson especially. Okay.
When he gets back from vacation, we'll ask him about that.
He'll have a good tan.
Yeah, he certainly will. I think he's spending it in Florida, so it'll be interesting to find out what he has to say when he's back. Whew. This is a crazy, crazy world. We'll continue with this, your Daily Mojo, in just moments.
This is the seditious, rabble-rousing, liberty-loving, home of fun, entertaining, and compelling talk. MoJo 50.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un is already there, and President Trump has just arrived. The two men preparing for their second summit, a 2-day meeting this week in Vietnam. Mr. Trump has high hopes for those talks.
I think we'll have a very tremendous summit.
In the president's words, we want denuclearization.
Former CIA Korea Station Chief Bruce Klinger says the two nations haven't even agreed on just what that means. The U.S. sees it as the North giving up its nuclear and missile programs.
North Korea still sees it as global arms control. They'll go to zero when we go to zero.
President Trump's been downplaying expectations for the Vietnam meeting, but Korea analyst Jenny Park says the pressure is on to show something.
They can't have another summit where they come away with just political will and a political mandate.
Saying the whole thing could fall apart if there's no concrete agreement. Sagar Magani, Washington.
Rescuers working their way toward a snowbound Amtrak train. It's stuck on the tracks in Oregon with almost 200 people on board. They've been trapped there since Sunday when the train hit a tree blocking the tracks, one of many trees brought down by heavy snow. No reports of any injuries, just a lot of very uncomfortable people on board that train. British Prime Minister Theresa May, bowing to political pressure, now says if Parliament rejects her Brexit deal, Lawmakers will then get to decide whether to leave the EU without an agreement or seek to delay the country's departure from the bloc. Housing starts took a big hit in December, plunging 11.2%. The number of houses being built dropped to the slowest pace in more than 2 years. Over the past 12 months, housing starts have tumbled 10.2%. December's decline occurred for single-family houses as well as apartment buildings. On Wall Street, Dow futures down 120 points. S&P futures off 7. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Hey, it's Brad Staggs with big news. MoJo 50 is coming to you and to your town. It's all part of our way of helping the veterans in this country. The MoJo 50/50 tour is 50 states in 50 days, and we're traveling across the country in a bus. I don't know what could go wrong. If you go to MoJo5050tour.com, you can find all the details, including to tentative stops and how you can be a sponsor. MoJo 50/50 Tour, MoJo5050tour.com. Universal truth number 14, pain sucks. If you haven't yet tried Relief Factor, what are you waiting for? Go to ReliefFactor.com, get their 3-week quick start pack for just $20 and see if it helps your chronic pain. ReliefFactor.com.
So let's talk about the Golden Globes. Christian Bale said Satan inspired him playing Dick Cheney. Did Satan also inspire him to assault his wife, his sister, and his mother? Did Satan also inspire that? Just asking.
Brandon Morse, today at 1. MoJo 50.
Hey guys, it's Ron Phillips with the Conservative Cartel. You know, everyone lives with a little bit of pain, but living with diabetes can be a real pain. While you may have to test your blood sugar and take insulin, ordering your testing supplies shouldn't be one more pain you have to deal with. At least it's not when you work with Diathrive. Diathrive ships the testing supplies you need directly to your home when you need them. Gone are the days of visiting multiple stores to find the right strips, waiting in long lines to purchase your supplies, or sorting through your insurance requirements to figure out what they cover. Best of all, with plans starting as low as $8 a month, Diathrive is probably going to cost you less than what you're paying today. Diathrive saves you time and money. Plus, they're pretty fun to work with, too. So why don't you give Diathrive a chance to show you there's a better way to manage your diabetes? They're so convinced that you'll love their service that they're offering your first month of supplies free. Simply type the code MATT, that's M-A-T-T, at checkout. Be sure to head out to the web right now and check these guys out. It's Diathrive.com.
This is the MoJo 50 Institute for the Advanced Application of Freedom. Ya bitches.
The mothership has landed.
And again, let's go in the way back machine all the way to 2014 for these historic words spoken by our president at the time.
We are not just going to be waiting for legislation in order to make sure that we're providing Americans the kind of help that they need. I've got a pen and I've got a phone, and I can use that pen to sign executive orders and take executive actions and administrative actions that move the ball forward in helping to make sure our kids are getting the best education possible, making sure that our businesses are getting the kind of support and help they need to grow and advance. To make sure that people are getting the skills that they need to get those jobs that our businesses are creating.
Again, President Barack Obama at the time, speaking of the president's power to create legislation, states of emergency, etc.
Listen to how well he enunciated that and how well he presented that.
Brilliant speaker.
And I think everything is planned and contrived. And I think if you look at it, it didn't work. It didn't work. His method, his delivery, his sanity, his cadence didn't work. They are trying to see that the lunacy of AOC will affect the masses, and I think it's going to.
Well, with regard to national emergencies, everyone is up in arms over President Trump's declaring the national emergency at the southern border, of course, simply to trigger the powers of the president to allocate funds for said wall. We look back in history, there are right now 31 states of national emergency that are still in effect, going all the way back to 1970. Still in effect. Oh, okay. Going back to 1979. This is after
How do you not
Congress.
reconcile that?
Well, they have to be re-signed every year. The National Emergency Act of 1976 was signed into law by Gerald Ford. In 79, the national emergency with respect to Iran, in response to the Iran hostage crisis, still in effect today.
But
signed by Jimmy Carter.
But that was solved.
Still in effect.
Okay, but those hostages were solved. They made a movie about it. Affleck.
It has to do with property owned in this country and assets owned in this country by by Iranians.
Okay, but hang on a second. It was signed national emergency to release hostages. It was reconciled.
Yeah. It's your government hard at work. President Bill Clinton in 1994 signed the national emergency with respect to the proliferation of weapons of mass destruction that combined two previous national emergencies focused on weapons of mass destruction.
So you're from the Department of Redundancy Department?
Thank you. Yes, otherwise known as the federal government. In 95, the national emergency with respect to prohibiting transactions with terrorists who threatened to disrupt the Middle East peace process placed economic sanctions in response to the Jerusalem bombing. Still in effect today. The 1995 national emergency with respect to prohibiting certain transactions with respect to the development of Iranian petroleum resources. Still in effect.
Makes no sense.
1995 national emergency with respect to blocking assets and prohibiting transactions with significant narcotics traffickers centered in Colombia.
Okay.
Still in effect. 1996, we move on to the national emergency with respect to regulations of the anchorage and movement of vessels with respect to Cuba. The anchorage, like anchoring a vessel.
Okay, that's like Anchorage,
There were
Alaska.
2 small planes shot down off of Cuba. The Cubans shot 2 small private planes down in 1996.
Okay. Oh, wow.
And
I was in my own world. I was
I didn't care then either.
Oh, I was 16 back. I was 21 back then. I didn't care.
Well, here's an important one. 1997, the national emergency with respect to blocking Sudanese government property and prohibiting transactions with Sudan implemented economic and trade sanctions. And on to President Obama, who signed into national emergencies. Let's see, how many did he sign? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. From his first, the national emergency with respect to blocking property of certain persons contributing to the conflict in Somalia. Still in effect today. Okay. And all these had every year.
Look at me. I'm the captain now. Look at me.
This is nuts. This is, again, what the government is doing. And then over the weekend, you had the governor of New Mexico, Lujan. Is it Lujan? I'm going to ask Isaac. Lujan. Lujan? Is that how you pronounce it? Lujan?
Oh,
I did it right.
Yo sé.
Thank you. 7th grade Spanish.
Es muy guapo.
7th grade Spanish actually paid off. You got to love that. She's one of the.
Okay.
Yeah, she's actually one of the governors who is filing suit against and pulled the troops back from the border in New Mexico, saying that there is no state of emergency in New Mexico, that everything is just fine down there. She's been to the border. She says everybody should go to the border.
We should all just trust her then. We should just trust her.
Are you again saying you don't trust the government?
All right. We elected him in, and it's supposed to be a concept of trust, respect, and mutual empathy for the growth of our great nation.
Emergency. We have an emergency.
That's President Trump speaking there somewhere.
I like that, man. I love that.
Cannot find where he's talking.
I love that, man.
But let me just say that the governor down in New Mexico said basically that Governor Jay Inslee of Washington said that he will sue the administration over Mr. Trump's declaration as soon as the order jeopardizes any federal expenditure in our state. House Democrats introduced a resolution to reverse the order. 16 states have filed suit against the administration in federal court just last week.
Yeah, they're all the same 16 states that were blue in the last election too. Go figure.
Yeah, it's amazing. Now, what is the difference between this president signing an executive order? And again, that's the problem when you get it's on both sides. When you allow one president to do it, the other party gets in there and they scream bloody murder.
Personality conflict. It's just personality conflict. And you know what? It's getting tiresome. I've said this analogy before. Trump is not a couth person. He is not a person who speaks with great eloquence. He's kind of crass. He morphs into either one of the guys in the locker room or somebody that can go to a $10,000 dinner a plate at a hotel for a charity. He's not presidential. He is somebody who just gets stuff done and they just don't like it. It's personality. It's 100% personality conflict.
Well, and that is the problem. The fact that again, it's both sides of this argument. It's both sides. Whether there is, if you believe that there is a state of emergency at the Mexican border, if you look at Judicial Watch had and this is actually going back years. The fact that of the 61,000 criminal cases initiated by federal prosecutors last fiscal year, this again going back a couple of years, were filed in court districts neighboring the Mexican border.
Okay, can you not acknowledge that 61,000 that could constitute as some sort of a national emergency?
40% of those, they say, or 24,000 cases, were cases along the Mexican border. To say that there is not crime, that crime has not escalated along the Mexican border, is insanity.
By the very virtue of the definition itself, illegal immigrant, illegal alien, do you not just agree? I'm not talking about it from a humanitarian position. I believe that everybody should be treated great, but you know, I don't want everybody coming over to my house and just walking right in.
Exactly.
Why can't it just be shut your mouth, Democrats? We want the right lawful process, which has been done since the days of Ellis Island, and that's it. It's all. But these Democrats have to make it. Oh my God, the children are being ripped out of their mother's arms, and this atrocity at the border. Shut up.
Well, this is what Michelle Lujan Grisham of New Mexico did say on Face the Nation on Sunday.
Some National Guard, law enforcement, and most importantly, health responders to an area where they're forcing them to come across a really desolate area in the southern part of the state.
So she's saying now that we are forcing illegal immigrants to come through a certain part of the desert. We're forcing them to do this. We are not. We've shut down. This is what makes me crazy. What about all of the people who have gone through the proper channels to become a citizen, to get into this country, to even to seek political asylum? Because technically, if you want to get back there to the caravan, when they crossed over Mexico, and Mexico was ready to let them in, Mexico said in a lot of cases they were from Guatemala, coming through Mexico. Guatemala.
Where?
I said that right.
Guatemala.
Your people come in correctly. I know they do. They love this country.
There's Guatemala, Honduras, Salvador, and
¿Dónde está el baño?
Honduras is where Honduras one of them? Honduras.
But when these people, and I believe that there are some that are living in absolute horrid conditions, and when they were coming across they were coming through Mexico to the United States, and Mexico was ready to take them, and they said no, we'll come to this country. Apparently we have a phone call. Apparently they didn't listen to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez when she was speaking about how horrible this country is.
She's so hot.
And we're going to kill the planet. So if I were them, I'd want to stay in Guatemala or Honduras. Let's roll the dice. See who's on the phone. Right. Hello, caller. You're on the air.
You shut your mouth, Democrat.
Hey,
lower that background.
Caller, turn down your radio. Otherwise, we hear ourselves speaking, and then it screws up the entire universe. Like that. Are you there?
Democrats have to make it. Oh my God, we're being.
Well, apparently not. Okay. That was a nice try, though. Continuing on with what the governor of New Mexico was saying, she's doing this, of course. She's doing this for the children. That's right about here.
Give themselves to Border Patrol. So we're making sure that the right kinds of services so that we don't have children who die right at those border areas in that crossing ever again in our state.
Why are people dragging children through the desert? Miles and miles through the desert. I ask you.
It's fun to leave the lines behind.
Washington State has not.
How do you think those crop dusts and everything get made?
Administration. There are about 16 states that have challenged the president's emergency declaration.
And again, they are filing this lawsuit when they had no problem with the states of emergency that President Barack Obama signed.
I don't know. I don't even know why we talk about this, because it's a very dumb thing. Because anytime the president does, it's in any context.
Yes.
I don't care if it's a shooting in Chicago. I don't care if it's something the president does. I don't care. It's okay. Well, this happened. Well, what about this? Well, what about if your argument to any topic consists with, well, I know you are, but what am I?
Yeah. And that's what politics in this country. There was a time, I think, maybe it was in the 1700s when they actually had a civil discourse, possibly. But since that time, it has been an absolute cesspool. And that's why when the government shutdown occurred, the 3-week
Oh my God! Did you suffer like I did?
Oh,
holy crap! I couldn't drive anywhere. My electronics didn't work. There was no AC at the house. I was out of food for 3 weeks. I had I had rabies. I had amoebic dysentery. It was a living hell.
Yeah. Why did not the president at that point use that time period to trim government? That was the ideal time to take things like the Department of Energy and trim it down to, let's say nothing. To take the Department of Education, which again, what's it doing at the federal level? State issue. Such a great opportunity to take all of those things that are we're bleeding money. National debt up to 22 trillion, 37 billion, 153 million. The numbers spin almost so fast it catches the clock on fire. We had such a great opportunity right there, and it's gone. Didn't you think at the time that he had a point in doing that?
I don't care.
But I'm saying,
yes,
didn't you think at that point?
Yes.
And why didn't he do it?
Because he's leveraging anything Trump does. As much as people think that this man's an idiot based on the way he talks, as did Bush. You have to understand something. You don't. Oh, he's had 4 or 8 bankruptcies. Oh, he's declared bankruptcy. The man has 511 businesses. You declare bankruptcy. I don't care if it's 8 times to restructure your assets, which is what 50 Cent did to prevent his ex-wife from getting what she was owed. So you're restructuring your assets, and you own that many businesses. You've been around the game in New York, probably the toughest city in the nation.
Yeah,
the man knows what he's doing. We've seen it time and time again. He weathers every storm. Doesn't mean it's matter if it's Stormy Daniels, if it's Russian collusion. He's taking these beatings, and he's not doing something here when it makes sense to hear because he's levering it for a position constantly.
What's the latest thing they just threw at him?
His intern or something.
Oh, that's right. Yes, he kissed her.
Wait a minute. This man is married to one of the hottest women on the planet.
Well, he did have Stormy Daniels swinging him in his face.
So he's got Stormy Daniels, his wife, Swedish ass out the wazoo, wherever he wants to go. Allegedly, Russian hookers are going to pee on him, and he's going to go for that troll? What's he going to pull a Schwarzenegger and go, I've got a Shriver and any damn woman on the planet? I'm going to go after the ugly maid and bang her in my bed.
It's not the tumor.
It wasn't then.
Wasn't she from Guatemala, too?
Who?
Schwarzenegger's babysitter.
I have no idea.
I think she was. I think this calls for a little trip in the Wayback Machine. Some porn on the cell phone.
Oh.
The theme of this. I thought you'd like that. All the way back to magic. Here's Don.
Playboy signed a deal with a wireless company, so you can now get nude pictures and videos on your cell phone.
Right.
How addicted do you have to be to get it on your cell phone?
Although attendance at church might be up. If a guy can take his cell phone and just sit there quietly and
look at porn.
Yeah, but when the priest
gets a call in the middle of the
service, that might get you through a lot of tough situations. In fact, instead of OnStar, if they had a little
Porn
screen,
star?
I'm trapped in my car. I'm in a snowbank and I can't get out.
Hang on, Mr. Malone. I'm sending porn right now.
Oh yes, oh yes.
Here's one of Alicia Silverstone.
You say, don't send the authorities. I'm having too much fun. I just want you to know this porn star is fantastic.
They saved my life.
MoJo 5050. That's how long ago that was. They were just introducing porn on a cell phone. Wow. My, how times have changed.
You remember when I was a kid? And I hope to God my mother's not listening. So we had a liquor store behind our house in a plaza. And once a month, you used to dumpster dive because they used to throw out all the porns. So that's how you got your porn back then.
Oh, yeah.
And then then it was like the HBO or the Cinemax, and you got the wavy lined thing, and you go, oh, that's a tit. And it's like
the things we did is wait a minute, we still do that today.
No, it is so desensitized today. You're like, oh, look, there's 7 chicks and a mule and friggin' a bottle of vodka. Man, okay, it is. We are so desensitized, it's ridiculous. Kids will never know what it was like back then.
It's time to get healthy. Maybe if you. And somebody pointed out Doc Thompson's healthy lifestyle challenge. Somebody on Twitter said, this seems a bit weird to me. Well, first of all, don't jog next to train tracks. That's number 1 on the healthy lifestyle challenge. That will, in fact, probably aid greatly in your time here spent on planet Earth. But if you just want to, if you're ready to make a change, if you want to lead a healthier lifestyle, the Rich Solution is the place to start. Number one, the Rich Solution. You can find the story of Gwen Rich, who battled not only and still battles to this day. I mean, once her cancer is technically in remission, I think, but she's still battling cancer to this day. Broke her neck, lives with Adam. A lot of stress in her life. Her legacy was to leave behind this the Rich Solution. Basically, she wrote a book. You can find that there. But she wanted to start the Healthy Lifestyle Challenge as a way to call attention to the fact that most of us lead, when it comes down to lifestyle and diet, pretty crappy lives. Who has time to eat right? I mean, unless you stop and think about it, who has time to get the proper nutrition?
Why would you want to?
It is kind of fun. Well, there was a story about pizza being better. Well, I'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
But
I'm all ears for that.
as far as leading a healthier lifestyle, if you go to Facebook, if you go to Gwen's Facebook page, you will find the link right there to the special Facebook group that she set up, Doc Thompson's Healthy Lifestyle Challenge.
I joined it.
See? I think I did too. At least I think I did. I hit join, so I think so you have to be accepted into the group.
She obviously just skimmed right over me. Dominick Izzo, it sounds like an interesting guy.
She may not have accepted my request, but you stop by the richsolution.com, and that's where you'll find the life extension brand. I've been taking those for the past couple of days faithfully, and I don't know if it's
life extension. So you still haven't seen Vanilla Sky?
No, not yet.
Yeah, life extension. That should scare you a little bit.
I just, again, when it hurts to pee and you start to stink, it's time to go. But if you are ready to take the challenge, you are ready to lead a healthier lifestyle and want to get all the benefits that go along with that, I recommend joining the group. And you'll find the link at Gwen's Facebook page. I'll try to pin that to the top of the Doc Thompson's Daily Mojo Facebook page as well. But in the meantime, visit therichsolution.com. Richsolution.com. Communiques coming in at this point.
TX Yankee Jackhole says, what I learned today at Real Brad Staggs. We know it's a dated piece by @Doc Thompson just by the fact that they reference actually considered seeing Alicia Silverstone naked.
It's funny. I don't remember a time when you couldn't get.
No, do you remember what the website was? Was Mr. Skin was the website where it was the big thing was to see celebrities topless and whatnot.
Yes.
7 rings of CPAC. Can we not bring up Russian hookers? My mind is dirty. No. # what I learned today. No. So we always bring up.
Russian hookers. Without Russian hookers, what good is life?
MoJo Ready. # what I learned today. Republicans and Trump wouldn't know what an opportunity was, even if AOC pointed it out to them. Okay, whatever. She's still so hot.
Until she opens her mouth.
I don't care.
Pizza is indeed a healthier breakfast than most cereals.
Why is that, Uncle Brad?
I don't know. Cold pizza, microwave pizza, store-bought, frozen pizza. Doesn't matter what kind of pie is on your plate in the morning, Brad. Wow. Someone actually wrote that. Probably healthier than a bowl of cereal, they say. There's a good chance you're hungover if you're considering eating pizza for breakfast. But first of all, it has protein. It has carbs. It might even have vegetables.
Vegetables.
They say Beyonce can eat cupcakes after a soul cycle. You can eat pizza before 10 a.m.
She's possessed.
You're making, yes, she is.
She's possessed. She is possessed. She's literally. Did you ever hear her in her interview? She talks about channeling this demon before she goes on stage. YouTube wormhole. Sleep is overrated. YouTube wormhole.
All the things I could be doing if I wasn't just sleeping. You're making a better choice than most moms are when they feed their kids cereal for breakfast. They say cereal options are nutritionally bleak. There's rarely protein. There's rarely healthy fats or anything but spoonfuls of sugar in cereal these days. And with cheese gaining momentum as the next hit superfood, you could bet pizza winning the nutritional war. See, now I've always learned I've been taught that cheese is an inflammatory.
Yes, it's acidic. It's not alkaline. It's acidic.
So,
not the Jew, the food, acidic.
Aha, not the acidic.
Yes,
correct, acidic.
Correct.
So then how can cheese become a superfood? The Cheese Council?
Fat and protein, but I think it's because now they're starting to determine. Remember, we were taught fat was bad all our lives.
Yeah, yes,
okay?
yeah.
And now, so I started looking into that bulletproof coffee, where you take like your APR coffee and you put a tablespoon of butter into it, and then some MTC oil, which is derived from coconut. I will tell you this: it's awesome. Number one,
I have heard of that.
Right. So the fat in foods keeps you full longer, which is a problem I have. So you're not supposed to eat it with food.
Yeah.
So don't eat a pizza breakfast and then have butter in your coffee. But if you have it on an empty stomach, it's a natural deterrent from you. And we could talk about Gwen. We could ask Gwen about this the next time she calls. But you're naturally not as hungry. You're full longer. And then fat is actually a better source of energy. So I do these pre-workouts before I go work out, which is caffeine and all this crap that makes you like want to just bite an old lady in the face and drop a toddler down a friggin' well, or punt them rather.
Mm-hmm.
But so I started doing this instead, where I drink the coffee with the butter in it. I'm not hungry. I go to the gym nice and alert. I'm like, this is fantastic. So the fat I know is one of your natural fuel sources versus the carbs, because you got fats and carbs.
Right.
And then now it's so I can see where the cheese comes into place. But yeah, the acidic value of that is going to be inflammatory.
So again, cheese. But cheese isn't inflammatory, but not butter.
No, but see, I would think the butter is. Everything you have a pH balance. You know, it's like a point. I don't know, Jack Holes, if somebody wants to correct me, I don't know, like a 0.007 or whatever. And if you get off of that tilt or whatever, you die instantly. So you put in alkaline foods in your body, the green vegetables, and anything that's created from the sun into the ground and grows up. Mm-hmm. And then your foods that taste good, your breads, your meats, that's all acid. So like everyone thinks that sugar rots your teeth, right? Don't eat sugar. So you get cavities in your teeth because sugars are carbs.
Okay.
And it converts into acid in your body, and acid rots you from the inside out. So that's why we go through aging. Aging is nothing more than acidic rising levels in your body. Because the human being was designed to live to be 120 years old, but we polluted the soil so bad we can't.
Damn it, I have been doing it wrong all these years.
YouTube wormhole.
So fat is actually good for you.
Fat is good for you.
Fat is good for you. Sugar is bad for you. Pizza is good for breakfast. Cereal bad for breakfast.
I'm telling you, look at the people who live to be 106 by drinking Jack Daniels and smoking cigarettes every day.
This starts to explain why Jeffy has outlived Doc Thompson. Now I'm starting to see the connection here. It's all making sense. This is the Bearded Spock universe. I've been dropped into it. I just didn't know it. Now everything falls into place. Another piece of the puzzle. Whew. Strange day. Man. All right, your Daily Mojo continues here in just a second.
High capacity, fully automatic, large caliber, freedom. MoJo 50.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez fancies herself the boss after proposing the Green New Deal last month. But if a new economic analysis of said plan is anywhere near accurate, AOC won't be the boss for long. You see, the report by the American Action Forum, which is led by Douglas Holtz-Aiken, the head of the CBO, from 2003 through 2005, gave us an estimated cost of anywhere between $51 and $93 trillion over a decade for the Green New Deal. Yes, I said $93 trillion, or to be put another way, every household in the United States of America would owe $650,000 right now. As always, the devil is in the details, and here's how the study broke down the spending. $5.4 trillion to upgrade the electrical grid to zero carbon emissions, and $1.3 to $2.7 trillion to switch our transportation system to zero net emissions alone. But the real spending comes from the Green New Deal's proposals for economic reforms like guaranteed income and health care for all. That comes up to anywhere between a low of $42.8 to a high of $80.6 trillion. Getting there includes a price tag of $36 trillion for universal health care, and anywhere from $8.6 to $44.6 trillion for the talk of guaranteed jobs. This is also the point in time where I remind you that we're already $22 trillion in debt as a country, and also owe an incredible $122 trillion in unfunded liabilities right now. As I've stated time and again, there's nothing wrong with shooting for the moon and doing the bold thing, but there is something wrong with doing so while driving this country and the world's economies off of a cliff. There's a big difference between incentivizing the ingenuity of private business and the government taking over industries and turning us into a welfare-first state. But that's the goal of socialism, and it's always been that way. This has been By the Numbers. I'm Andrew Coppins, and you can follow me on Twitter at The Coppins Show.
By the Numbers with Andrew Coppins is powered by TarRiverArms.com. They've revolutionized online firearm sales with high-resolution pictures, 3D imaging, and the best prices. How much will you save? Find out at TarRiverArms.com. That's TarRiverArms.com.
The Daily Mojo.
Yeah, the tweets continue to come in here. JR15, punting toddlers and punching old ladies. Dominick Izzo, you complete me.
That's right.
See? A natural fit.
Just wait. I got other stuff planned, man. I want to, and I think that I want to see what the public says about this. So, you guys on the Twitter and the MeWe chat room, I would like to pimp you out a little bit more. I think we need to have a game that involves the audience. Guess what's in Brad Staggs' mouth, and you put something in there off camera. People don't see; they got to guess it, and the winner gets an on-air live 15 to 30-minute massage by you on air. Dude or girl, doesn't make a difference.
It's gonna have to be. She's gonna have to be hot.
It has to be a dude.
Whoa there, pal. What's going on there?
We just learned something new about Isaac behind the glass, didn't we?
Just kidding.
Wow. So Isaac's a watcher. Wow. So many other things.
There any good clubs in Texas you want to tell us about?
Yeah.
He used to work at La Bear.
What is that?
La Bear?
I'm just kidding.
What is, no, wait a minute.
Just kidding.
What is La Bear?
It's
Is it
it's
a place?
all women's club.
Where
just
is
for
it?
just for women.
So the men are strippers.
Yeah.
The men are so it's like Chippendales.
And what did you do there?
He doesn't know Chippendales.
I don't know what Chippendales.
Well, okay, so what did you do at La Bear?
I didn't work at La Bears. I'm just
You
kidding.
probably went there.
I'm just messing with you.
Okay, all right.
Do you know what Thunder from Down Under?
No.
That's a Vegas. That's like the Chippendales in
They
Vegas.
came in. I was working in a gym in Chicago, and they came in 2010. Dude, every woman in that place went nuts. There were like 12 of them. I'm like, really?
They weren't interested in any of the women either.
They
I
were
doubt.
not interested in the women at all.
Isn't that weird? I mean, it's just you would think with having that many women throw themselves at you that
You want to try one just to see what it's like?
and maybe they got tired of the blah 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 blah.
Could be. Instead, they like the That's what they liked instead.
A new belt buckle. The government is at it again. Just thought I'd bring this one up. A new nice shoes. Are those Italian? New
Get it together, Izzo.
new
Oh, shit.
See, I love a new audience because I can bring out the classics. I only know 8 jokes, but they're really good.
Oh, God.
House Democrats are now set to pass bipartisan measure this week that mandates federal background checks on all gun sales, including private transactions. Is anyone surprised?
No.
House Democrats, they've also scheduled a vote on legislation to extend the deadline for federal background checks from 3 business days to as many as 20. This legislation designed to close the Charleston loophole, which allowed white supremacist Dylan Roof, who killed 9 blacks at the Emmanuel AME Church in Charleston, South Carolina in 2015, to buy a gun despite pending felony charges against him. So did they? Going back, did they ran a background check? Oh, okay, yeah. So they ran the background check on him, and the charges hadn't hit his record because the felony drug charges were still pending. Again, would this have stopped that?
No, I don't even know why anyone's wasting their time with this. You cannot stop human ingenuity. If somebody wants a gun, they want to kill people, it's going to happen. The only thing that's going to stop is a good guy with a gun. Oh, yeah, but Izzo, but what about all those people who are on the ground in Vegas and they had guns? He had a superior position from a vantage point, from an elevated position. Shut up.
And we still don't know why he did it. And there's something to that story we still do not know. So that is a situation in and of itself. And I don't know if it's like the Kennedy assassination. We may never get the true story.
Do you remember the Tylenol scare back in the 80s?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so, why did that guy want to do that?
Because he was a dick.
Okay, so is that not a fair statement to make about everybody? Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have a press conference now about the school shooter, the church shooter, the whatever shooter.
Right.
Okay. Because he was a dick.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the definitive reason.
Mm-hmm. And there's no stopping people like that. If they will find a way, even if you made it illegal for them to get a gun legally through legal channels, they would find a way to get a gun through illegal channels. It's just the way it's human.
Well, drugs
nature.
are illegal, aren't they?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and we don't have any drug problem.
No.
We have none whatsoever.
Yeah.
And then you have England.
Yeah.
Who banned knives. But so knives are illegal, guns are illegal, knives are illegal, and we just had a story about a guy getting stabbed the other day.
Did you ever work in an office, or you ever work in a job where they gave you sick days or vacation time or anything, and somebody would abuse those sick times and innovation? Okay, so those are in place to safeguard that it's always done right for people, right?
In theory.
Now, traffic laws, 55 miles an hour is a speed limit, right? People don't go faster than that.
Nope.
Who cares? I'm so tired of this crap.
We have a phone call. I think the person who may have forgotten to turn down the radio last time. Line 44.
Oh, gee. You're on the air.
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's up, Ricky?
What's happening?
Not much, man. How's things? What's going on? Happy Tuesday.
Well, yeah, well, in Chicago, it's Paskey Day today.
Oh, is it Casimir Pulaski Day?
Who's that?
No, Paskey. Where
Paskey
you get
Day?
that donut. Yeah, Paskey or something. You got all you white people go around giving out donuts, and it's Paskey Day.
Oh, I'm not Polish. I don't know. I'm Italian, which means I'm half black.
Yeah.
They give out donuts today in
I
Chicago?
do Polish for one day because I like the donuts.
Are you talking about kolaches? No.
No, Paskey's Day.
Okay.
Come on, man.
If it's a donut, I'm in. I don't care what you call it.
Chicken and donuts.
Yeah.
Hey, it's,
they got them everywhere. People walking around. People trying to give out Paskey donuts.
It's voting day in Chicago, too. Are you voting?
Yeah, I got to go vote for mayor.
Who are you going to vote for?
Well, I got to vote for the man who give out the $100 bills. You know that.
Yeah, Willie Wilson. There you go. Next mayor of Chicago.
That's right. Will Wilson. He give everyone $100, and then everything be good. Will Wilson get in. He gonna pay the gangs.
But how many of your family members?
Stop shooting each other.
Yeah, okay. How many of your family members got $100 bills from him?
Oh, pretty much all of them.
Oh, so you guys paid off your loan for your mortgage this year?
Yeah, we find out wherever he gonna be, and then we all show up. Make $1,200.
Nice. A lot of dead members of your family going to vote today too.
Yeah, well, it depends. Some of us vote twice, and then some of us vote for the dead ones who can't be there.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God. Hey, what's the latest? What's the word on the street up there about Jussie Smollett? Anything new?
No, they just said. Well, the new word is that he's just going to walk away from all this because he's going to just say he a drug addict or he crazy. And the judge going to give him a probation, and he going to go like that Anthony Weiner. Mm-hmm. They're going to do the same thing. They're going to send him away to some country club. He be gone for like 4 or 5 months, and then he going to get out and do all the talk shows, and he going to be a hero.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
What about R. Kelly?
Oh, man. R. Kelly peeing on girls and stuff.
Your sisters love R. Kelly.
You say that like it's a bad thing.
Yeah, they love R. Kelly. He crazy. Yeah, they say he all out of money.
Did he ever pee on anybody in your family?
I think he may have peed on clitoris. But I don't remember. But it could be. You never know.
Ricky, we just got a notification from corporate that says it's Paskey Donuts. It's a brand.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
We had our residents.
Yeah, how come you don't know? Yeah.
I don't know
you
why.
From
yeah,
Chicago, you don't even know about it.
Izzo should have known. We count on you to know these things.
I know cannolis. I don't know what Paskey Donuts are.
Hey, last time, Ricky, last time you called, you kind of dropped a bombshell when we were talking about Jussie Smollett and saying that Kamala Harris may have been sending him text messages. So nothing new on that?
No, that's what they said, that if they check his phone, the Chicago check his phone, that's why he didn't want to give his phone away, because they were going to see that he was texting back and forth to Kamala, and then I even think they said that he was texting Booker, because Booker and Kamala, they was trying to pass a no lynching law. I was like, hang on a second, it's 2019, and you got to pass a law that says you can't hang a man from a tree. In 2019, who is going around with ropes hanging people from trees?
I hadn't thought about it from that angle that he was in
And
response.
he had a note.
Because,
He
yeah,
had a
but who
noose.
the hell thinks about putting a damn rope around their neck in 2018 or 2019? That's
Further their cause.
That's brilliant, actually.
Geez, Ricky calls and we got more calls coming in.
I know, right?
Hey, Ricky, you got any plans for today?
No, we gonna go out and celebrate because the Black Panther.
Yeah.
He won the most awards at the award show. We're not celebrating because he won the most awards. We celebrating because white people are so stupid. How you gonna get that movie all them awards?
All right, Ricky.
Some guy running around in black pajamas. You gonna give him 5 awards? That was the worst movie I've ever seen.
Oh, all right. Thanks, Ricky. Stay warm out in Chicago. We'll talk to you.
Wow.
All right. We got another call. Yeah, you're live with Brad and Izzo. What's going on?
Hello.
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 Oh, it's a punchki.
Oh, thank you.
Let the girl from Slavic Village.
Did you say
Okay, tell you what it is. It's a punchki.
Punchki.
All right.
Can you say that on the air?
And it's
Not
given
sure.
out. Huh?
Can you say that on the air?
Punchki.
Yes, you can.
Sounds dirty.
all right.
It is a heavy donut that is jelly filled.
Oh, I bet it is.
It
Depending on
is
time of the month.
eaten- it is eaten on the day before Lent, so it's not until March 6th is Punchki Day.
Oh, okay.
So if they're doing it in Chicago, they're doing it wrong.
Well, they do
Cleveland
everything
knows
wrong there.
best on these things.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Punchki.
And the idea is the Polish people do not eat any sweets during Lent. So they get these very heavy, very sweet donuts, and they eat them up before the start of Lent.
Well, that seems to make sense if you know you're not going to be able to have. How long does Lent last?
6 weeks.
Oh, 6 weeks. Okay.
6 weeks.
You got to
6
give
weeks
something up.
without
You gotta give something
sugar.
up, yeah.
Holy crap!
That's
Oh,
a
the
Catholic
Polish
thing,
people-
though.
Yeah, but in the Polish culture, nobody gets married during Lent because you're not allowed to dance either.
You're not allowed to dance? Oh.
There's no dancing during
No,
Lent?
they don't dance during
You know
Lent. I
what?
used to do security for Alliance of Poles
Are you Polish?
here in Cleveland. No, not by blood, but I was kind of adopted by him.
Okay. Polish women.
Myself,
gorgeous.
my children, and my significant other at the time are the first non-Polish full members of Alliance of Poles.
I know the main Polish swear word, too. I know it.
What is it?
Well, that makes one of
I
us.
think I could say it.
Some Italian dude
Yeah.
at work tried to get me in trouble and told me something in Polish that I should go ask it at Alliance of Poles.
And
when
what
I
did he
worked.
tell you?
Yapkawishi.
I have no idea what that means. I'm not Polish.
That means how's it hanging?
Okay.
What's wrong with that? You can say
And
that.
that is what in Poland, that's what the prostitutes ask the men on the street. If it's hanging to one side, the answer is yeah. And if it's hanging to the other side, it's no. I don't remember which
Phrases
one.
we don't use
So
anymore.
You're out of luck.
How's it hanging?
It's to the right.
How's it hanging?
Well, so the prostitutes would ask, what difference did it make if it was hanging to the left or the right?
Because the left or the right gave an indication whether or not they wanted to buy their services.
Oh.
So why not just say,
Right.
hey, do you want to buy me or pay me for
Right,
the hour? Why
right.
don't you say that?
They
Yeah,
were
but-
trying to be a little more polite, maybe. I
Do you
don't
take
know.
sugar or honey in your tea?
I didn't live in.
There's nothing worse than a rude hooker.
Yeah, that's right.
I totally understand that. All right, so it's Punchki is the name of the donut.
Yes.
Punchki. All right.
And Izzo, they're
Yeah.
all over Ukrainian Village.
You know, when I was a kid, I used to think it was Urine Village because I couldn't read it that way when being a kid. But I'm not Polish. I'm not
I know.
Polish. I can't. I'm
My daughter
race
went to
hater.
college there.
Oh, where'd she go to school?
She went to Cooking and Hospitality Institute of Chicago.
Oh, wow. Does she still live out in that way?
No, she's back home here now.
Smart girl.
After $30,000 of pastry chefing education.
Wow.
Did she start her own bakery?
Does she know how to make punchkis?
No, she slipped in a kitchen at America's Dog looking for her first job in pastry, hit the back of her dominant wrist on the edge of a metal table, and cannot control a pastry bag.
Ouch. That sucks.
Did she sue?
Cannot pick up anything heavy.
We can't date them.
$30,000 gone.
Wow.
Did she sue?
It happened in Illinois, and workman's comp there was not what it is here in Ohio.
Go figure.
Yeah.
Go figure.
It was almost impossible to work through. She finally got her bills paid.
No. That sucks.
Luckily, when that happened, she couldn't work at all. She came home to Cleveland, and we got her. She was referred, luckily, to one of the best hand surgeons here in Ohio.
Can you give her a hand job?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Good.
Thanks for calling.
All right, thanks. Have a great day.
A punchki, not to be confused with a punjab. Completely different. Completely different. By the way, we mentioned the gun legislation a little earlier. The fact that that is even on the table, I would imagine, are sending sales through the roof at TRA Guns. When President Obama was president, gun sales soared. It's amazing. Every time you get somebody in the White House or a majority in Congress who oppose guns, through the roof. Through the roof. So get yours before they are all gone. TRAguns.com is the place. It's America's most convenient gun store, and why wouldn't it be? You can see all of the guns. And I meant to bring a little show and tell, and I'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah, I haven't seen guns this week.
I'll show you my
Okay.
I'll show you my little gun.
There you go.
It's a gun I got from my dad, and I don't even think it shoots anymore. I wouldn't. Well, when you see it, you'll understand.
Okay.
But at TRAguns.com, that is TarRiverArms.com, that is where you will find these incredibly high-resolution 360-degree views of guns. You can sit there on your computer. You can spin them around. You can see them from every different angle. You can even tell if they clean them well or not. Kurt says, yeah, I have to make sure that I do a super good job cleaning these things because you can literally see specks of dirt or dust on them. So you know exactly what you're getting. Again, it's America's most convenient gun store. It is TRAguns.com. And if they're going to introduce legislation, get them while they're hot. If there's one you had your eye on, don't let it slip away. Don't be a doof. Tom Hanks was killed by an internet hoax.
Okay.
Cover of yeah, I know.
Bosom buddies.
Internet death hoax. News of actor Tom Hanks' death spread quickly earlier this week, causing concern among fans across the world. However, the February 2019 report has now been confirmed as a complete hoax and just the latest in a string of fake celebrity death reports. Thankfully, the actor is alive and well. This happens every now and then. You just see somebody and I don't know how it gets started. But everybody thought the first time when I was announcing Doc's death, everybody thought that was a play.
Yeah, you call me and you're like, all right, I have to tell you something, and you clarify that this is not a hoax.
God, I wish it had been. But Tom Hanks is alive and well, and it was just an internet hoax that put him 6 feet under.
Money Pit, great movie.
Yeah, it really was.
Great movie.
Remember this song? Let's see here. Remember Talk Talk? Lead singer of this group, Mark Hollis, just died yesterday.
I don't care.
64 years old. You'll never again hear Talk Talk put out an album like that.
I don't think we ever did after the first one.
But the songs that they did put out, that was like
That was 80s. 80s.
Yeah, and great music in the 80s.
Yes, the 80s, the 1980s, clothing aside.
Yeah.
Clothing aside, the
And
1980s
hairstyles.
were the single greatest decade to contribute to pop culture ever. Movies, music, food, colas. Yeah, the 1980s defined pop culture.
It was an interesting time in history. The hairstyles,
Aquanet.
Yeah.
Yep.
I had big hair
Aquanet.
back then. I had a mullet. That's back when I had hair, period. Isaac, favorite genre of music, favorite decade? You like the 80s, 70s?
I like
today?
the 80s.
Favorite band?
Favorite band from the 80s.
Favorite band from today?
Well, I mean, I used to listen a lot to like 2000s alternative. Like,
Okay.
Like The Strokes. And
You're wearing a
listening
Ramones
to My
shirt.
Room?
I mean, yeah, I mean Ramones, obviously, yeah.
Okay.
And I'm thinking of another band too, but I guess
who?
I guess Queen too.
Oh.
Have you seen the new movie? Have you seen
I
Bohemian
did see it.
Rhapsody?
Yeah.
That's a great movie.
Fantastic
It's
movie.
really good.
Did you the part about him having extra molars, the fact that it gave him extra range? He had a bigger mouth. He had extra range. I remember when the first album I bought from them was Night at the Opera. I think that was the first one they put out with him as lead singer. And it was a fantastic, that was back when you bought albums on vinyl. And generally when you bought an album, there were like 3 really cool songs that you heard on the radio and then like 9 that sucked. And that happened a lot. And I was just asking somebody the other day, dude, artists still sell collections, right?
Yeah, I got to show you this in a minute.
But as far as albums go, I mean,
Yeah, they do anthologies, corrections. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm in shock. Can you see this for a second? A listener just sent me that. Just look at the picture on the right.
Wow.
So a listener
Wow.
a listener asked me a question. He bought his
This is on Instagram they sent it?
No, this was the private. Dude, I need to hear your opinion on the story. We have a daughter and we just bought her a doll. It's like this generation's Barbie, except you don't know which one you're gonna get until you open the package. It turns out that this one was a transgender doll that looked like a girl and had girl clothing, but the doll had little nuts and a wiener. Your opinion's
Wait a
always-
minute, hold on. What's the name of this? What's
so
the name
he
of the doll?
sends me a link, and the link is to a website, Kidspot, KIDSPOT.com, and the article is from December 28th of last year. A teeny weeny penis on a LOL surprise doll is upsetting mums. So this is Britain, kind of, I guess. Several images posted from the Scribbles doll due to the surprise Facebook page saying that there's a penis on the doll was unacceptable. And I mean, I'm not going to read the article, but yeah, you look at this doll. It's clearly a girl. But
Wait, before you open the package, it looks like a girl doll, and then when you open the package and take the clothing off, it's a guy doll?
Either this doll is a boy or this doll was on too much testosterone as a woman and has now got the French fry sized.
So wait a minute. So this is a company putting this out as a transgender doll?
Yes, it is.
And the website is
the website. I will put
Say
this up on the
Kidspot?
Twitter. The tweet, kidspot.com. I'm going to put this up on Twitter, gang, so you guys could see this.
Again, you start controlling the youths of America when you get them at a young age.
Do you have kids? I don't think I've ever
Yeah,
asked
but
you.
they're older, though.
Okay, so I have a niece. She's 11, and I went to the movies a year and a half ago, and there was this Gigi Gorgeous was coming up in the coming attractions, and it was free because now they show YouTube promotions at the movie theaters and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I'm watching this. I'm like, dude, this looks like a porn star. It's a blonde, big fake, breasts and this and that stuff, and the overly bleached blonde hair. It's a dude. It's a dude who showcased his life from day one as a teen boy, 13 years old or whatnot,
Right.
to transitioning into this. And it's readily available. Now, my 11-year-old niece can go online anytime she wants and Google these things, and these images would pop in her mind. And it pisses the hell out of me off thinking that when I was a kid, I tell this story all the time. When I was a kid, you went to video stores, the adult films were behind the counter.
Right.
So they spared children from seeing this,
Sure.
right? One day, somebody left the cover box of one out, and I walked past a woman. That's a woman, but she's got a penis. It was a tranny, obviously, back then.
And it was the magazine? Or
No, it was a cover
movie
box for
cover?
a video.
Wow.
And that screwed me up because
You didn't know what you didn't know if you
clue.
loved it or hated it.
I'm 8 years old. I'm salivating. I suddenly get an urge to say, get a blow pop. But my God, I'm going, what is this? So I can't picture what these kids are today who can go to YouTube, go to Google. All you have to do is go Google and you can type in porn and stuff will pop up. This is not fair to this generation of kids.
No, I
At all.
totally agree.
So these dolls and everything, Ridiculous.
We've opened that can of worms. Probably a good idea to, I'd say, just kind of wrap this thing up. Let's hit that there show close.
What do you mean it's last call?
That is it. That is all, ladies and gentlemen. The end of Doc Thompson's Daily Mojo. But as always, before we go, let's find out what we learned today. We learned that Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is hot when she's dancing, but she loses points when she starts discussing anything that isn't about sex.
That's BS.
Anything
because
that
I
isn't about
learned that
sex.
I learned that Brad Staggs refuses to find AOC attractive.
Not anymore. There's a problem with that. We learned that if you steal a car and then stop to watch a solar eclipse, hashtag you're doing it wrong. And finally, we learned that taking a dump behind a jewelry store is a really shitty thing to do. Just saying.
Like I said,
what, if anything, did you learn
I
today?
learned that you don't find AOC attractive. That's what I learned. I learned that Isaac has built a love shack, a Guatemalan love shack.
Oh, yeah, a tool shed.
And I also learned that we are in the greatest time in history because we get to watch porn 24/7 from our phones.
Yes, and we heard the origin of that, too, with the vintage Doc Thompson. All right, what, if anything, did the listeners learn
Coming
on today's
all
show?
from the hashtag on Twitter, what I learned today, make sure you put that out there when you're out there, is Oklahoma Tomcat says, AOC got in the wrong career. She should have become a dancer instead of a politician.
No kidding.
Nope.
See, she would have held on to all of the points that she otherwise loses when she speaks.
Sam Ross says, new drinking game every time AOC says like drink. Might get drunk enough to her ramblings start making sense. Let's be frank. And PA says 1 week of supply of Atron Teal makes Izzo regular. What's the dollar value of Ron Phillips's daily habits?
Ooh, that's a good one. I think if you add all that up, I think he's got something there that's like the gold standard in poop.
Oh, here we go. Just a dude. Again, hashtag what I learned today, gang. Just got out of the hospital after finding out I have diverticulitis or
diverticulitis.
Thank you. Diverticulitis. Pain so bad that I couldn't stand. Still couldn't stand up straight. Brad just made me laugh so hard, and I had to get another Norco after hearing, is that a new belt buckle?
If you got to have any spare Norcos, by the way, you can send them down here, and we'll make sure that we dispose of them properly for you. You don't want to throw them away. Anything else?
Yeah, hashtag what I learned today, Just a Pilgrim says that it's going to take more than it hurts to pee and stinks to take me out. That just gives me the personal space you always wanted from those close talkers.
Right? The older you get, I think the better it is when you just realize I like a wide swath of personal space, like feet and feet and feet of personal space.
Oh, and the attacks are coming in, the pickled squirrel. Neither of you two fools have any idea what goes into a weather forecast. Are there bad forecasters? Sure. But meteorologists who issue life-saving forecasts never get a simple thank you.
Of course.
Hashtag what I learned today.
Exactly. What is coming up on tomorrow's program? Do you know?
No, I don't know.
Neither do I, so that's all right. What's coming up with Matt Locke?
Who?
He's going to talk really loud.
Yes.
I have a sneaky feeling. We'll get to those new numbers on procrastination as soon as Doc Thompson returns from his vacation with a tan. Your Daily Mojo today has been Yo Soy Isa production. Remember, wherever you go, whatever you do, live by the 5 rules, and you have a shot at being right and being happy. Good night, Doc Thompson. We know where you are.
See ya.